close in here, and he's realizing he's going to have to try to go for the outplay. Kraken getting one knock, but he's so low here, and Julius is going to be able to finish him off. First things first, he opens it up and just unloads 46 in a massive amount of trouble. Fazza taking some shots. There's the down under control. Moomin may have a chance here, jumping around.
One person left alive.
They should be able to do this pretty easily. And this is just, there's just bullets firing in all directions. Rush goes in for the breach.
Close to LP, and they have the full advantage on the situation, but XT going to be chiming in with their own bullets.
Might have revealed himself here. Clown just quite have the sight on him. And it looks like it's just a matter of time. That's going to be it. Thank you, Gandalf. And Rush just tries to make a few more fights happen. He does manage to get a double knockdown. That means that Rush to Crush are still alive in this one, but they've got to make moves very quickly here. Good positioning a lot of the times, but he's still relying, getting a lot of those kills. And there's another one, the Babe. Clown is doing so much job here, not making a single sound. Doesn't matter if he's got those knocked out in seventh place. Members of AXT looking to breach in here on 46's house. Here comes Ray, but he gets he gets down there by Hazim. Turns it around. There's still Clown. There's actually still 2 more members remain. We want to see more from them. LP, after nearly getting knocked after a chicken dinner in round 1, managed to stay into the top 2 positions. And Issa just, at this point, you can just relax. You're in a 1v4. You can literally only do better, and that's going to be it. They get taken out in 2nd place. But how about this? Loot 46. LP are going to actually pop out of this one and try to light up Squad 69's couple of cars. And it looks like to be able to get all of his teammates back up just in time, though. KS come in, and they finish eventually, but Nightmare is going to fall to Ari. It looks like they did manage to find him. And here's the wrapper on the side. Light Pirates have to see this one coming with his rocket. He tries to open up, unload fire. That's 1 down, looking for 2. He finds it! Is that all 3? No, not quite, but he does manage to... Go up, and Aras sees him. The trap, the bait. And he does manage to find Koro. There's going to be even more nades coming for the time being, but with Islam knocked.
He's going to be able to get an angle, but he's being spotted. LP!
And that's going to be it!
Okay, there we go.
3 teammates. There we go. There's going to be the breach up, and it looks like he is completely outnumbered right now. 17. Are they going to fall right here, right now? Posted up in this one compound, but Mustafa's got his sights trained on him. Good shot on the Lord. You've got to be kidding me. Jeez. What are you doing?
They're powdered each other, luckily.
Nightmare getting the down onto Mustafa. And now it is only going to be Wolf, the last man to try and hang out here. Good use of cover by Nightmare, and Wolf nearly getting dropped down. It's even on the health bars, the rest of L&D. And all of a sudden, these fights keep on happening. It's going to be 4 teams remaining, 12 players up. Drugs and Needle trading fire onto
one shot. Is he going to be able to land at any moment?
There we go.
There he goes. They know each other. They're there. He's going to peek out the corner. Hey, yes, but you know what? One of the fan favorite teams might be able to get another kill here.
That's going to be it, though. Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open. It is the final day of the group stages here for the MEA region. I am Devin Pirate Tanks Young, and he is Tom Freeman Pickering. What's going on, dude?
You forgot the wonderful bit. So.
I mean, you are wonderful. I thought that was assumed by now.
Yeah, exactly.
It took up too many syllables. I needed to save them for more of those O's in your first name. So, please don't take it personally. That was a little bit of editorial discretion, if you will.
Yeah, I'll let you have it. And if you're there sitting on Facebook, make sure to let me know what you think of that introduction. It was fairly fabulous.
Someone's got to clip it, I assume.
From the lovely Mr. Devon.
It's not about us. What it is about is, of course, the MEA region here and how the tournament works. We'll break things down for the Club Open, for the Spring Split. This is how it goes. Placement is king. 30 points awarded to the winner. Now, we've seen teams fragging out, but you only get 1 point for a kill, so you better stack those if you want to make it up for a placement that's anything shy of the top 7, to be honest.
Yeah, and some teams have got a lot to do today, a lot of making up to do, because this is the final day of the group stage. There's a couple of teams who are on the periphery of this whole tournament, and they may not even make it through to the semifinals next week, because only 24 people go through.
Yeah, out of the 32 teams, here are our 32 teams. Now, some of these have already played all of their matches. That is, of course, the teams in groups A and D. But we will be looking at, right in the middle there, groups B and C. That includes the real deal. Current frontrunners definitely locked in for that one, unless they can get upended. RBK 313, RICHGANG, MBZ Falcons, iKurd, Just Survive, Arab Madness. And, of course, Group C is comprised of KA Squad, F16, Nox, 963, 69 SWAT, SahiBalata, Assassins, and the SMP.
Oh. SMB snapping in right at the bottom there. And I want them to do better because, I mean, they've got someone called Thanos in their team, so they're kind of, you
You'd
know.
think they'd be a little stronger, right? Absolutely. But let's take a look at our schedule, right? Because we have the same map set up for today, but we want to take a look back at the results. You can see why TRD really are the real deal. They got 2 first-place finishes, 2 chicken dinners on day 1 of this week. They got 2nd place on those last 2 Erangel maps, and of course, day 2 they weren't playing, but it was impressive to see Light Pirates and 46 Loot step it up.
That's just insane. The 2 teams that we didn't expect to really win anything. Light Pirates, we expected to come high. Well, elite
Placement, right? It was all about placement.
Because they were able to dance away into the circle with no problem.
Dance to the danger, yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't dance at all until the final game. And the final game is where they actually had like their worst performance of the whole thing.
It was a weird one. I don't know where to put those guys for sure, but they definitely impressed us on that day. So did Loot 46. Now let's take a look, though, at the maps we have today. It will be the same set of maps that we've had all week long, which means we start on Sanhok, moving on into Vikendi, and then we'll drop double Erangel to close the day out.
And Erangel is definitely going to be the tasty one there. We saw such a mixed results. We obviously did see LP as Light Pirates or Dancing Pirates and also 46 Loot take the chicken dinners on those maps, but it wasn't always so close. We saw it a little bit tighter a couple of times, so it may well be the same for this next one. But let's have a look at the total points and where everyone is sitting at the moment. So the real deal, obviously sitting high on top, the Kings, and it's very unlikely anyone will be able to touch them with the barge pole. I mean, 7 Reef team, they're not playing. Light Pirates, they're not playing.
None of the teams in the top 9 here are, except for the real deal. So we have to look a little bit further down the standings to see if anyone is even possibly going to catch them. That would take a monumental effort.
Yeah, and I mean, if you just have a look at Kurd Squad there, they did a really good play, and so did Light Pirates as well. I think they're both probably the fan favorites. Guys, if we're wrong, correct us in the
I think it's definitely, we see a lot of Kurd Squad spam for sure. But yeah, why people might be wondering why we're not seeing 7 Reef team in there, because they performed actually very poorly. They had to rely on their earlier week results to get it. But here's where things get interesting. Starting at 9th place, we have Arab Madness. They will be playing today. They're the only team that has even a semi-realistic chance, and that's still a long, long bet of being able to knock down TRD. I mean, I'm pretty sure they looked into the future. They've seen over several million results, and there's only one in which they topple TRD going into the semis.
They'd have to have Doctor Strange to be able to do that, but we'll see if they do that. I mean, I think they'd have to win, maybe every single game with a minimum.
And TRD would have to place quite low, right?
Yeah, and they'd have to get 20 kills per game as well to touch.
Which is close to what TRD actually been able to do. We looked at it earlier in the week. They didn't get under 10 kills in an individual match.
And they've not dropped below 5th placement at all. So today could be the moment they actually drop down a bit below, but that doesn't really matter to them.
Unlikely, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but they're pretty much already locked in. Here's where the teams aren't in safe positions, right? You need to be in the top 24. So here are the teams that are just inside of the bubble, including the teams playing today: KA Squad, the SMP you mentioned before, and Just Survive. As well as RBK313, who have shown a little bit of improvement in this week, but we didn't see much out of them previously. The same thing can kind of be said of Just Survive as well. They had a couple of stand-up performances. You can see it in placement there, but really not getting a lot in the ways of kills. The SMP, you mentioned we want to see some improvement out of them. I 100% agree with you. But here is the teams fighting to try and get in. There's really only a couple of teams realistically that are going to be fighting for that. 963 is one of them, because despite the fact that they've appeared in every single match, unlike a lot of the teams down in the standings, they just haven't been able to stack up a lot of points. They'll have to improve coming into this next one. And then, of course, SahiBalata and SB, as we call them, are also going to have to do that, but they haven't loaded into half their maps, so they're kind of stuck back there for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, if you theoretically say that they got the exact same results and they played the same amount of games, they would actually be placed a lot higher than they are now. I mean, they're only just below 963, and they've played half the games, which is insane on that front because they've got over double the amount of kills and only under half the amount of placement points as well. So could see some interesting things from them today if they do turn up. The teams below them, like ME Assassins, we won't be seeing them, so we won't move further up for obviously reasons, and there's a few of the other ones just due to them. They weren't active throughout the tournament, but we'll go on and go forward. So I'm excited
for sure.
And obviously, first map is going to be tasty. Sanhok with some.
It's always been good. I mean, that's the thing. I had my reservations about Sanhok a little bit because I was thinking it's a small map. It's it's an older one. It's gonna have maybe a couple of issues with competitiveness. We don't usually see it on desktop PUBG, but the teams have taken to it. We've seen some great firefights. I'm also excited for Vikendi because that's where sometimes these teams pull these crazy strats that we see a lot of urban warfare, and some of the teams that don't get a chance to shine in the more open fields of Erangel or Miramar get a chance to do it.
Yeah, it's really going to depend on where the circles land on this one. If people get favored, we did see it a couple of times yesterday. But it's not only about the them getting the favored. We see teams like 7 Reef T and also TLD able to rotate in, get the circle, and get some really good stand-ins.
Yeah, now, of course, if you've missed any of that stuff and you want to be able to catch up on the standings, or even just look at the team rosters and see who you want to throw your support behind, you can go over to our website at clubopen.pubgmobile.com. It's right on the screen below to check all that information, including the up-to-the-minute standings. And in addition, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/PUBGMobile Esports to catch not only the Middle Eastern region, but all of the regions participating at the PUBG Mobile Club Open in the spring split here. And don't forget to smash that subscription button. And, of course,
ding-dong that notification bell.
And you might just hear more of this lovely voice over there. Don't miss a single minute of the action. Of course, we are in the final day of the group stages. After this, as Tom pointed out, it trims down from 32 teams to 24. Now, with a couple of our teams not loading in, we're probably going to see just about everybody involved in it. The competition gets a lot tighter because then, after 2 more weeks, it gets to the regional final stage. Yep. Only the 16 best will be there. So this is the chance for the teams that have been lagging a bit to level up.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the interesting points is the fact that it's going to be wiped. There's no the scores from this week, these past 2 weeks, are not going to be carried through to the final semi.
No, but it will affect where you get placed, which group you get placed in, because there will be 3 new groups, right? And it's kind of like back and forth. The first place will be in one, second will be in another, third in another. We'll, of course, tweet out that information as well, so you can follow our Twitters if you want to see more of that stuff. In addition, a little self-plug before we get underway.
Make sure to follow Devin on Twitter.
And
Pyrotechnics.
We free men, YT.
There you go. But the point I was going to get at is
ahead,
we've actually seen some really impressive performances coming out from 46 Loot and Like Pirates yesterday.
Leveling up from what we saw before, especially in 46 Loot's case, where we saw almost nothing.
Exactly.
Until yesterday.
If they decide not to hold back this time in the semifinals, we could see them just trample all over. I mean, if they play like they did today. But the groups are going to be completely different. It's a different sort of style. The pressure's on. The games are going to be played differently. So it's going to be interesting to see. So make sure to tune in then as well.
Also, TRD's in this group match today. So this is going to be interesting. This is a preview of what is very likely going to be this. I think at the end of the day, favorite for champion in terms of the ME region, and that is a scary thing, which means any team competing against them are likely going to have to avoid them until the last minute if they want any chance of grabbing those 30 points from the chicken dinner. But we will see as we get underway. We are on Sanhok for map number 1. The plane's coming in from the southeast corner, and always keep your eye on where TRD, Hackshot, and the crew are going to be dropping because you might just want to avoid that spot.
Yeah, and it's quite a decent plane for a lot of these teams to be able to drop in. I mean, TRD don't have a specific area. They are dropping in on Sanhok at the moment. They tend to go wherever the wind takes them, especially with the fact that they don't really have to care about the points too much.
Yeah, you mentioned they've been hot dropping the last couple days.
Look, you can see they're actually looking around on the map, and you can see that they're looking at SWAT 69 here, or 69 SWAT actually, and they're like, oh, okay, they're going boot camp. So are we. Easy peasy. They want to go in for those frags. They want to punish these teams, and they want to show off to these organizations who are watching these streams, watching their talent, and actually be able to prove themselves that they have the skill and the ability. And we do see actually on the eastern front, there's not actually too many teams on that big island, apart from in the boot camp, Kambong, and also Takmoko just above that as well. So it's an interesting circle coming out here. Center is close by to Quarry.
Yeah, so I think boot camp's definitely going to be a good spot to be if you are TRD or a team that can actually avoid them, but looks like we might get an early firefight. Meanwhile, the rest of the team's not too far away, a couple of them outside the circle. We will get things underway with this 69 SWAT versus TRD start, though.
Yeah, and it does look like Kevin is already trying to lock in these guys. 69 SWAT do have in a good position, but MBZ have a better one.
MBZ Falcons showing up early on up against KA Squad. This is a little bit rough. They've already got a knock onto Haji. Into the trees they go, but that's not the greatest to cover, especially when MBZ are coming out with accurate fire.
Yeah, and they are going to be chasing them down. Hamek is going to go down. Not looking so good for him. MBZ, one of the teams that do need to get a couple of kills so they can 100% secure it. They should be fairly safe, but they want to make sure they can prove themselves to the teams.
Yeah, they start in 11th place right now, so they're definitely one of those teams that still have a chance to break into the top 10 pretty easily if they manage it. Arab Madness kind of already just a little bit above them, but this is going to clean things up here for MBZ and give them the chance to get onto the board with some early points. It's interesting. They dropped in so many faraway areas in the early maps that we kind of thought this team maybe was a bit more passive, but honestly, they just kind of had bad luck with the circle.
Yeah, I think last time we saw them, they played a little bit better than they did before, so might be good to see them play a little bit more aggressively, and that's exactly what's come out. And then if we actually have a look, MEA have joined the server.
Yeah, so they decided to load in after all. And it's a long climb back. Yeah, for those of you not really sure what the team story were, is there was a ruling issued against the team, specifically against Falastine, because he was using a unapproved device. Points got reset for all the games he was in. Unfortunately, that was all of MEA's points, which means this is their last chance to try and creep back into the top 24. They could do it, though.
It is possible if they really wanted to. If they got, I think, within the top 5 over the next 4 games, plus a couple of kills, they could actually make it, depending on the performance of the bottom tier teams as well at the moment in the bottom of the 24. But unless we do actually see a couple of kills coming out, there are 12 teams in total on the server. I don't think there's been a full wipe yet. 44 people, and we're going to be seeing AM fight up against IK.
Yeah, that's a little bit rough, too, for AM, because remember, they're the ones that want to break as far as they can into the top 10. Of course, they're already more or less locked into that top 24, but anything can still happen today. They have started with one down up against IK. iKurd looking to knock them down a peg.
Trying to use that AK with no sights is definitely a challenge there, so I have to give them props for trying it, but it might just be a waste of bullets here, but we have seen teams wipe out squads with no sights at all. And then RBK still going to be able to loot up here fairly easily. H mode there, the Pride Rock man himself.
That was such a sick play on Erangel the other day. He gets up after his team had been completely wiped out, and then he just unloads onto the UN members that were sitting just down further below. They didn't see him coming. Oh, man, I haven't seen Pride Rock play like that for a long time.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. And TRD are hunting, but they have actually backed away from boot camp. Looks like they are looking to try and hold these two bridges from any teams that just started to try and cross. And, I mean, to be fair, they've got the firepower if they wanted to. But
and they're allowed to do this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a safe lock for first place. There's barely any teams that can catch you, so you might as well try to use this as a practice round.
Yeah, and I mean, if they meet those teams that are a challenge, I mean, 100% don't have a chance. I mean, I think, like we said, there's only one team that really has the potential, and it is AM.
And they're still like over 100 points behind. Like it would be actually insane to see them get into first place and topple. I mean, stranger things have happened. We've seen 46 Loot come up huge as well as Light Pirates yesterday. But I do think that TRD are probably the scariest team in this tournament, and they'll continue to be so.
Yeah, I think if they play properly and like they have done, then we could easily see them break like the 350 mark. They have done it before, so again, that many points. But let's have a look. They may face a bit of an issue here because RBK is going to be lining himself up, looking for people as he's backing up his team who are crossing this waterway.
Yeah, there's a couple of these RBK members, and RBK have been a team that have slightly resurged a little bit over the last couple of weeks. It started looking like a fairly weak team early on, didn't acquire a lot of placement points or frags, but then their last performance started to shape up a little bit more as the tournament meta took shape. Here we will check back in this fight with Arab Madness and iKurd. Looks like everybody's back up on their feet, and they're just fighting across the waterway.
Ooh, an MK14. We've not actually really seen
that drop.
I think we've only seen one or two. Where is it? Who knows? We can't even see on the minimap there.
Way out in the open.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see it later on. Probably not picked up, though. Back to TRD. Back to one of their split pairs.
Ooh. That's Bard on the IK side, getting under fire inside the house here. So,
wonder if he'll sing us a song.
Yeah. That's going to be a song of bullets across the way. Going to go pew, pew, pew.
Looks like someone's trying to quiet him down.
Oh. You're very punny. Ooh, B52. He's going to get dropped down earlier, and HeadHunterr starts to unload. He finishes off B52 from the AM side, so we got a third party coming in from TRD.
TRD and AM are the team that can, only potential ones that can challenge them.
This is why we talk about how good this team is, man. They just do not care. They're the Honey Badger squad right now because they're so far out in the lead. They're so good. They're just outclassing almost every opponent. We haven't seen, I think, a single team like really just dominate them. It's always been close when they've actually lost.
It's going to be an interesting situation when we see them go against the other regions. Are they comparable, or are they not? We'll see that in a moment, but it's actually going to be IK taking down a couple of members.
That is going to be a drop, so Zero may end up dying. He's a little bit far away from his team. Kevin and HeadHunterr are there. Let's see if Bard can actually make the play happen. He's not going to take the shot just yet, trying to line it up, but he might give him his position away because you see Molotov on the opposite side. Might have him in his crosshairs, so this is a tenuous position.
Yeah, I mean, Zero is actually leading out very, very fast, and Kevin is going to cross over. He's going to be able to pick him up. Didn't actually take any shots. Hits, rather.
Kevin should be able to get him back up. So the split kind of ended pretty quickly there for TRD here on Painan. It looks like they're going to try to come in and clean up everyone else, but so far they're not going in to try and breach onto the Arab Madness members. Instead, they're focusing all their attention onto IK, who are under fire from effectively 2 opponents. Oh, good drop down! HeadHunterr with the shot.
Bard has sung his last song. He pissed off the wrong crew, and now TRD are looking to take revenge.
You call that unlucky, man. Anytime TRD comes into your territory, you best believe you got to turn tail and run.
Yeah, IK would be best to turn on the hills and run away. TRD are now going to be turning their attention back over towards AM. In the meantime, Jasner and the crew from 963 going to be hopping in a couple of vehicles here. And
we got to track these guys over the game. 963 are one of the teams outside of the bubble. They need everything they can to get back into it, but they are going to have to get into the circle before that happens because you can see how far out they are. And there's another firefight. Oh, we're back to the same one, rather.
It's probably going to be the most interesting one of like the first couple of minutes anyway, because we're only like 8 minutes into the game, so we'll see. Maybe within the first 60 minutes.
AM could get sandwiched here, actually. Look, it looks like the IK members are looking to try and wrap around the side, but so is TRD.
Yeah, this could actually be ending very badly for TRD if they're not careful.
See what happens. Shot starting to be taken here by Hackshot into the house where Molotov sits. Remember, AM only playing with 3 right now, as B52 had already been dropped.
And luckily for TRD, there is no team damage. They can actually shoot at and through each other if they really wanted to.
It's just nades keep on coming right now. IK are actually pretty happy the pressure's been taken off them, so TRD turning their attention over to AM means that this 4v3 may turn out not so good for the Arab Madness members. Remember, 9th place team trying to pick up as many as they can just to ensure top 10 positioning, even if it doesn't mean too much going into the next rounds, since you're already fairly secured in your lock position. Now we are going to check in with a team we haven't seen for a while. This is Nox over here, down with only 3 members. Oh, it looks like it's going to be SMP starting to lose. They did not see that coming.
And that's going to be one guy straight off the map. He's going to be dead and out for the count. Knocks the so-called bad boys off the server, as I called them, straight away. And they are looking to perform even better. They do knock another player from Snap down. This is not looking so good for Snap. They came into the server with 33. Yeah. No Thanos in sight.
Yeah, another bubble team. Sif, oh boy, that nade he's going to force into a first aid kit. And when Nox are hunting, this is going to be rough. There's 4 players splitting to collapse onto them on this rock right now. They've got to make moves quickly. We're running into the waiting arms of Galiko. Sif knows there's nothing he can do, and Snap are going to drop in 3rd. Excuse me, in 12th place with only 3 players that loaded in.
First team that are out, and this is another crate, which is pretty much exactly the same, albeit there is a suppressor in there this time round, and it's right next to one of the teams, Team 4. That is kind of see them on the map because it was a different one, but I'm sure we'll be able to see in a moment. But 12th place, that's going to be painful. And AM at the moment are going to face a potential backstab from IK. TRD have backed away from the situation. They know that, although they can play a little bit flamboyant, they do want to be careful. And it's going to be RBK who are going to be able to pick up that package.
Ooh, okay, spicy. See what RBK can do. But yeah, so this fight, this has been really where all the action's been centered. The Nox wiping out all the members of SMP notwithstanding. A lot of teams look to start to join them here as the circle will eventually shrink down. Because Painan kind of being on the edge of it right now does mean that eventually you have to cross this water somewhere. There is a bridge a little further to the north, but a lot of teams will want this. And we're going to check in with MBZ Falcons, who started out by taking down about half the members of KA.
Which was a good start for them. They get a couple of kills in here, and they do need
KA still up, though. A couple of them anyways.
Yeah. And we do have 963 here, who we are viewing. I don't think they're inside the circle right now, so they do need to make a move. They're right next to Temple, if I'm right.
Just on the edge, it looked like.
Oh, they are in.
Okay. So they will manage to make their way in. KA's couple of members are as well. And that next circle comes through, once again, centering on Corey.
There's one team in it, and it's going to be MEA. So there's going to be a lot of movement here. RBK, TRD, AM, IK, MBZ, 963, and also KA are probably all going to clash. Oh, and, of course, 69 SWAT and JS. They're all going to be pushing in.
Yeah.
They're going to be funneling into the same area. Some of them might push away, but either way, back to the action.
We could have an all-out brawl, but Hixu gets dropped down. He peeked a little bit too far. Dropped the grenade down. He's going to have to go crawling, and that might be the chance for AM to start to turn the tables onto the TRD side. Looks like it's going to be another drop, though, off the board. Quiet. He goes down. He gets eliminated by 0.
That was good return of fire there. They are going to have to pick up a couple of people on from the TRD side. Very careful indeed. And now IK going to be making their moves against AM.
Oh, this is great for IK. They smelled some weakness and they started to come in. Unfortunately, starting to lose to another third party because MBZ were outside.
4th party galore. Soon to be 5th if they're not careful.
Yeah, we could start seeing teams just high-five into each other at this point. So AM starting to lose quite a lot here. 2 dead. Butcher knocked. Only Molotov remaining healthy, trying to get his teammate back up. He will be able to do it, but this is a severely weakened AM team.
Yeah, and it's going to be TRD who are going to go in for the push. They don't want them to recover. They know they've got a limited amount of time to take out the enemies here.
Oh, Molotov may have had a chance, but he got spotted in the transition here, trying to get 0 down, but he gets taken out before he can find the final shot. And that means it's going to be all down to 1 more member of AM. Kevin takes a few shots from the distance, but he gets back into the safety of the house. Meanwhile, looks like MBZ are finding fights on multiple fronts as 963 run afoul of them.
Yeah, and AM is the last member alive. Sorry, not Butcher is, but he's going to go down to IK. And
they're
IK,
in trouble.
They've only got 2 members because MBZ have been brutalizing them.
Yeah, that's going to be UT Boom. He's been able to find a couple of shots as well, and he's sitting right outside this house where Rawan is, rather, and that's not going to be easy. Going to let him crawl to his teammates, but it might just be the bait. In fact, it should be. Kramek not going to go forward here. Oh, he's actually gotten away behind the side.
Yeah, and a team up on the hill behind them for people trying to enter. RBK are going to be the people blocking them from being able to enter the circle at a later stage.
There's a lot of teams in this small area while the circle is still wide. We could see some very early fights here. Looks like SWAT from JS does get knocked down. AM are out, though, in 11th place, so not a great start for that squad. Still, though, they have good placement positioning already.
Yeah, and MBZ are going to be able to try and surround these guys, but it seems like the reverse might end up happening. But I think, oh, lost Kev. Shots there, pulls out his 6 times, goes for the spray, doesn't hit anything, but pulls out his grenade instead. He's pulled the pin. They should know that this is the time they need to run. He chucks it in. Rowan, he's going to go down, I think.
Yeah, Rowan's going to get dropped down. So MBZ going to find even more there with the finisher on the nade. MBZ going to take up the residents of the spot where IK previously weren't. Kramek's wondering where the heck his allies are, and he's not going to have to wonder for long. Good shot by Hixu on the nade.
That was from across the water, whilst they're in the midst brawl of RBK from a distance. Interesting here. Now JS under fire from 69 SWAT.
That's RIP. That's going to get taken out. RIP for sure. Man, there's just so much carnage going on here. We're down to 9 teams, 31 players remaining, and it's only 14 minutes here. Painan's still the theater of war as the circle starts to close in.
Yeah, and the difficulty is RBK are going to be holding out TLD, so TLD just trying to stop MBZ from being able to cross the river. It's not looking so good for TLD, actually. They could get taken out, but I don't think they really cared too much.
Not looking good for a lot of teams that are just outside the bubble right now. You can see very few teams are anywhere near the circle. Now, it will favor a lot of those westernmost sides. Ooh, Mehmet is going to get dropped down just outside that range. MEA have had the good fortune of not having to run afoul of anyone just now, although you got to think they're going to want to make some frags in addition to getting placement points over the course of the next few rounds. SWAT's still alive.
Yeah, he only actually has 1 bullet in his gun right now, so I'm not sure if he realizes or if he just doesn't have the ammo. So he's trying to crawl in here without being seen by Captain, and he might just be able to edge his way in for a moment. No, seems like he's been spotted.
He's in trouble. I think this might be where JS ends. Mehmet's going to get taken out. SWAT's still wrapping around the side. We'll take a look at the picture-in-picture. Teams on the opposite side looking to find a fight. I think that's the remaining 963 members on KA. Both squads weakened. Energy drink popped by SWAT. Maybe he has a chance to start taking out some of these 69 SWAT members.
He keeps canceling the animation. I'm not quite sure what he's looking to achieve there. Finally, he's going to take a drink, of an energy drink, maybe? I don't even know if he's done it yet. Either way, he needs to heal up very quickly, and then he needs to go for a quick run right up behind 69 SWAT.
Oh, the blue closing in on him right now. It looks like MEA have entered the fray as well. They find KA's last.
I don't really know what SWAT's doing right now. He is trying to out-heal the blue, which at this time
yeah, that just seems like a bad strategy. So a couple of teams really know good spots to go, and he actually even takes some blind fire. Really nowhere that he can go that's safe at the moment, so he does need to find another rock outcrop to do it, but outrunning the blue is not going to be easy. Meanwhile, we'll check in with this other fight between KA and 963. Kevin gets knocked by RBK off screen. That's pretty significant. We don't usually see TRD members going down. It looks like there's some fire on multiple fronts here as they look to leave Painan.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't have the advantage at all here, so TRD going to have to wait in the blue here as the circle now pushes in. It's going to be very difficult.
They're on the outside of RBK, and I don't think they see this here. Nade out. Is that going to be too far, though? Is it rolling down the hill? They got to know something's happening in H mode. He was already unable to move, and it looks like there's going to be another down onto one of the RBK members, and MBZ coming behind them, cleaning up all of them. Looks like H mode still on his knees, but there's a couple of teams off to the left, and not for long. That's going to be anything. RBK are out in 9th.
Yeah, that was really good, and TRD.
I don't know about for long right now. Big shots unloaded by the KA members, but across the way, what a brilliant shot. Couldn't see what team that was on the opposite side. Meanwhile, TRD, they live to fight another day.
That's some loud firefight coming out from those guys, but we'll see TRD carry on, try to jump inside the circle. They may well just be able to make it, but MBZ now going to be on a fight from 2 to 3 different teams.
Yeah, let's see what 69 SWAT can do here as they're coming up the hill with all 4 members. MBZ, they have all 4 as well, but not 100% healthy. Mustafa looks like he's still knocked down by 69 SWAT. And looks like that's a 2-man opening up here. SWAT's trying to come in and maybe clean up a couple of fights himself, but MBZ showing that they are such a strong team, knocking down members left and right of the 69 SWAT squad, but I spoke a little too soon. EFT Boom, he gets dropped down by Captain.
Captain trying to do some work here, but JS trying to return the fire.
There's only one healthy member. It's UT Kevlos.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can stay alive here. He's going to pop a bandage at the moment.
He's not even healthy. He's so low. Narcos is up, and he's going to be picking up Lashin, one of the players that we should keep an eye out because he has been doing a lot of decent shots in the past. And TLD somehow alive with
They've just split across
members.
the water, too.
How have they managed to stay alive in this situation?
They're TRD, man.
Yeah.
Hackshot can just go across this bridge now. It may not be the safest as MEA are kind of waiting in the wings over there, and so are 963, so this gets a little hairy. 963 staying alive for a decent bit of time, just taking pot shots where they can. Only one member down.
Shots at TRD.
Don't know if that's the best of strategies, but
Nope,
looks like MEA's found them as well.
Yeah, they took a couple of shots, and unfortunately they gave away their position, and now they're going to get punished for it. So, sure, you got to take a couple of shots at the best, but it seems like MEA, the worst at the moment.
69 SWAT have lost interest in the MBZ members.
Smart choice. Get inside the circle, leave these guys to die in the blue, which is going to happen because
Kevlos can't
do anything.
Yeah, that's going to be Boom going down. And that means that it will be down to one member of MBZ running away as the rest of the teams converge on one another. That's Nox and 69 SWAT. TRD looking to reunite with their team member Hackshot, but we are going to see a 4-on-3 here if 69 SWAT aren't careful.
Yeah, and looking for the kill. Captain take the first shots.
He nearly got one down. It looked like that was on Glico. No, it was Dr. Aluz. Here comes the rest of Nox, though, moving around the rock side, and it's just ring around the rock. Who's going to get the first shot? Captain going for it, but he gets dropped down. Way too many members of Nox were there. Maurice is going to be able to come up with it at the end of the day, and he will finish off Captain. Ben moving into charge for the rest of the 69 SWAT members, and that might be it. MBZ lose their final member as well, so we're seeing teams drop like flies.
Oh no, Nox may just end up dying to the blue if they're not careful, and SWAT 69 SWAT are going to be able to potentially wipe them out.
That's Narcos, he's looking for it right now, and he's the only healthy member remaining, trying to go forward to get La Shin up. And I can't believe it, through all of these fights, 69 SWAT are hanging tough.
Yeah, there's only one member left of them, and there's actually only 5 teams due to the fact that TLD took out MBZ, and this means that TLD's record of staying in the top 5 remains.
Somehow. Still intact right now, and another team is going to get dropped down. It looks like Ben loses his life, so does Dr. Aluz, which means Nox go out in 5th place. Not the finish they were hoping for here, but the fights aren't over yet. HiXu discovers 963, so does Zero, and they should be able to polish them off. This is a real mismatch fight in terms of player skill, and it's only going to be Yesnaya remaining. 963 could secure a top 4 finish, though, or will secure a top 4 finish no matter what. Oh, my goodness. Zero getting dropped down by Wasim from MEA. Yesnaya getting Zero with the finisher. They're still alive.
Yeah, the circles landed in their favor, and MEA are now coming in to join in.
Rip Yesnaya. That's 4th place finish for 963. Unfortunately, he just left himself a little more exposed. MEA are going to come up huge in this one. And I can't believe it. There's still 2 TRD members. Hackshot's still alive. Abbas does get dropped by HiXu, and he gets finished off. Wasim turns it around into Narcos across the river. TRD are still in this. Hackshot's taking shots.
So he managed to kill one member, or knock him out at least.
He's the last remaining TRD member, and to be honest, he could still take it all. But MEA are creeping up from behind. This is going to be rough. Only 3 teams remaining, 5 players left. It's down to one team member from TRD, 1 from 69 SWAT, and 3 from the Middle East Assassins.
Yeah, and MEA in such a big advantage right now, and 69 SWAT lash in across the way.
Oh, Hackshot, he's got to get in the water. He can't do it. And that's going to be TRD going out in 3rd place. And it looks like this should be all for MEA unless Lashin can 1v3 clutch across the river. He's not got the circle with him, but he has to make moves fast using the cover he has.
Oh, and he's going to go in for the M24 shots. He may well be able to hit one, but they're going wide, and he realized, and now he's going to be stuck peeking from one of the other angles.
Oh, God, this is so tense right now. He cannot afford to peek. There's still 3 members from the MEA side remaining. He takes a shot, but he unfortunately is going to get dropped at the end of the day. MEA pick up a chicken dinner, and they have to be feeling pretty great about that.
I mean, mad props to MEA there. I mean, we said that they had to get the wins, and they have started out very well. 6 kills and a win. 36 points in total, which is the total amount of points they've actually got. So they need another 3 of those.
Yeah, if they do, they can definitely secure themselves a spot in the top 24. There are a lot of teams down further that haven't acquired any points from not loading in. So there's definitely still a chance for MEA. Glad to see them coming back into this. Despite the ruling, they are fighting it out.
And you know what? 963, they managed to get 4th place. They only managed to get 1 kill on 0.
That seems a bit par for the course, but we are seeing them find a way to survive, and that's the impressive thing.
I mean, yeah, just trying to stay alive is going to be the main thing for them because they're not really able to do too much in firefights. It seems they're a bit like a dog just trying to like chase a car, I guess.
And in this case, the car was TRD, which is never something you want to do because they will just back up and run you over. Unfortunately, now TRD did go out in 3rd place, but that's like one of the worst finishes we see from them, especially in the last couple of days. And they also happen to really not get favored by the circle too much. So they kind of got sandwiched between a couple of teams. That being said, they're still very scary, and they probably are playing for a little bit of fun because at this point, they're pretty much locked in 1st. We talked about AM being the only team that could even potentially catch them. Well, AM goes out in 11th place. I don't think there's a chance now.
No, I mean, going out in 11th place was just not good enough. They only got a couple of kills as well, maybe only 1 or 2, which was just not favorable at all. So now let's have a look at a couple of highlights here. Zero does go down to Bard here, but eventually he gets picked up and the fire is then returned back onto Bard.
It was an interesting three-way fight for sure, but you could see at the end of the day, AM just didn't know which way to turn. IK kind of made a good effort of it, but then MBZ just came in and really upset the apple cart. And MBZ did a good job here, really seeking out fights, something we hadn't seen them do in the early rounds of the tournament because they just fell so far away from the circle. They spent half their time running, and here they go cleaning up RBK as well, getting the wraparound on the other side and keeping them unaware. And this is why you see MBZ getting into that 6th place finish. But there were a couple other fights where things kind of went a little bit sideways for them. 69 SWAT ran afoul of them. You could see SWAT from JS, one of the last remaining members there, making his final stand. And then Nox turning around and finding the 69 SWAT members before ending up getting wiped themselves. So it was a whole lot of chaos and carnage here in these semifinal circles.
Yeah, unfortunately, they concentrated on trying to get the shots on them rather than trying to get inside the circle. And we do see TRD hack shot there going down, which is a bit unfortunate. And then we do see MEA taking the win, the chicken dinner. So GG, well played to them. A couple of the other teams played very well. I mean, TRD, as usual, playing fantastically.
Yeah, they were doing it with less members as well. Like, again, we keep talking about it like, oh, it was down to 1 member, it was down to Hackshot, and there's still a chance for him to clutch it out because we've seen it happen before. But that circle shrunk down really fast. MEA, honestly, they had a solid drop. They dropped very far to the east, the only team to really do that. And they spent the first couple of circles running, but once they closed in, they picked targets well, they rotated effectively, and honestly, it was a well-earned chicken dinner from them.
Yeah, I mean, with their rotations, they got inside the first circle, and after that, they just played slow compound to compound. They didn't actually need to run too much after that.
Probably see the same with Vikendi.
Yeah, until the right at the end there, where they did actually have to cross the river, and they snuck up behind 963, because that circle was so heavily favored on 963. It was just unfortunate that TRD had already crossed and preempted that. That's why they had
and that's
one
the issue
member
for
on either side.
963 too, is like it also comes down to execution in those cases, and what we've seen time and again from 963 is they're always willing to take the fight. They have a lot of heart, they play with a lot of spunk, but unfortunately that's not a substitute for accuracy, and they just can't quite get it done. They also peak a little bit too long, and that's the difficulty here as well. So we're hoping to see more from 963. However, that being said, a 4th place finish, good placement for them. They only need to pick up so many points to get their head above water and get into the top 24 spot.
It's not going to be too hard for them. I mean,
better than SMP did.
I think maybe even 1 or 2 games more like that, they could definitely make it in. But let's have a look at the kill leaders here. Narcos are going to be at the top there. They're going to who did come in second at the end there.
69 SWAT. MBZ Falcons also showing up quite a lot as well. A couple of members in these top spots. And UT Boom, man, that guy looked great. But it's all about MEA because they spent a couple of circles really not finding any fights. But then Wasim just shows up huge here.
Yeah, it was really well played from him. I mean, 4 kills for MEA. That is something we didn't tend
on
to see
one player
too much
too.
of. Yeah, I mean that was really well played on him, and we obviously see MBZ in the top 10 3 times actually, which is really impressive from them. Quite a lot of kills in TRD, not an unusual sight. 69 SWAT about the same as well. I think really, MBZ and MEA are the surprising sort of results out of this one. Nox, not so much. Kind of expect a little bit more from them. The other members.
Well, we had high expectations for Nox, right? Because we saw them clutch so many rounds, play so impressively, but they then get dropped in kind of these chaotic firefights. I think once we get to Erangel, we'll probably see Nox shining a little bit more because it's less of that compound-to-compound play that you're talking about. But let's take a look here at 69 SWAT, which have now renamed to S&T, and MBZ Falcons, the 2nd and 6th place teams.
Yeah, so let's have a look at this. So damage is actually fairly close, but kills, just one difference as well. Standings is completely different on that front. But
all about survival.
MBZ Falcons, getting a lot of kills there, 11 in total, which must actually be, I think, the highest kill rate so far.
For them, I think, they've been hunting quite a lot, which, again, it is surprising considering how they opened the tournament, but you have to think this was probably how they wanted to play it earlier on. Taking a look at how some of the players shaped up, Leshin and Loskev actually having a pretty decent split. In fact, the same amount of distance gone as well.
Yeah, almost exactly. That is ridiculous. And almost the same kills and damage as well on that front. And, I mean, both of them are fairly equal sort of players on that front. Kev was actually the last person to remain on his team, ended up dying to TRD. And then let's have a look at the 2 sort of
I think Mustafa went down really early.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing him in a lot of those later firefights, and as you can see, he covered a little less distance than the rest of his teammates. Kev Los, as opposed to Los Kev, also did okay. Not quite as well as the rest of the team, but nonetheless, MBZ did retain 4 members for a while, and we'll see a few more of them here. Its captain comes in for 69 SWAT, gets 1 kill, gets a little bit of damage before going out, but he does last a little while longer. And UT Boom, I think he was the big carry for the team. team for sure. It's not just in the kills. We saw that guy always lighting people up and getting the downs.
Yeah, and he was able to sort of back up his teammates and just pick them up when he needed to, and also just sort of hold the angle so that if people were trying to push, he just shot a couple of bullets and they'd back away. And then we have the big boys here, the Narcos and not UG Script.
Narcos was definitely the big one for sure in this case.
He only has 486 damage, so he really didn't actually do too much.
He was just finishing off the shots.
He's just stealing a couple of shots, but
that's who gets the points, though, man.
That's how you play it. So fair play, and he also managed to secure second place just by chance of being on the other side and hack shot getting spotted there.
No, that's very true. So that, big shot there from 69 SWAT, or SNT as they like to be called now. So only 3 matches remaining to try and decide who's going to be going into the semifinals here. This is huge right now, and I think some of these teams putting in the extra effort at the finish line, even the teams that are safely qualified, this shows that they definitely want to place as high as they possibly can before the end. But if you've missed any of the action so far, want to catch up on what's going on, or maybe just check the rosters and the teams, where they come from, who you want to cheer for, all that good stuff, you can head to our website over at clubopen.pubgmobile.com for all that information.
Right on the screen, right below. It's fairly easy to do.
That's pretty simple. You just type it right into your browser, easy peasy.
Or Google it. You can just Google PMCO and it'll pretty much come up. It's nice and easy.
Speaking of, what else will come up? Also, the website where we're going to be broadcasting everything. You, of course, can go to our YouTube channel, is youtube.com/PUBGMOBILE for all the information. And, of course, all of the live feeds, including our region for the PMCO 2019. And in addition, you can go ahead and smash that subscription button and
ding-dong that notification bell.
Make sure you don't miss a minute of the action. I hope you've been watching along for sure, because it's been very exciting, looking forward. But it looks like we will be going to a quick break. Before we load on to Vikendi, it is the final day of the group stages. You don't want to miss this, so don't go anywhere. Don't touch that browser. We will be right back.
Zombie Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
Mobile for free.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the PMCO. This is, of course, the PUBG Mobile Club Open. This is the 2019 Spring Split, and we are covering the MEA region. But I am Devin Pardenus Young still, and, of course, he is Tom Freeman Pickering. And we're going to be bringing you all the action for the rest of the game for sure, so it's going to be pretty good here. I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the teams actually go in the next couple of rounds, because that was a great round by MEA, who really need all the points they can actually get going for the next couple of them, since they lost a few due to the ruling earlier in the weeks.
I'm so surprised that they actually managed to win that one and take away 36 points. I'm saying on that. It's a little bit ridiculous considering...
Impressive performance. Up against TRD as well, who ended up in third place. And, you know, they may be having a little bit of fun right now. But they still definitely put in a good showing. I think 69 SWAT also looked pretty good. But also 963, who aren't qualified yet. They need to break into the bubble of the top 24 because after the next 3 rounds, there are no longer any chances for the teams outside the top 24.
There's no safety net. Once you're outside the 24 mark today, you're out. That's it. Yep. No more chance at $2.5 million. That is at the end of the rainbow here, and that rainbow is real, and we're helping to run it along. And obviously, at the end of the path, only one MEA team makes it, and we'll see some of the contenders here, and TRD making it up at the top there, 294 points.
No surprises here at all. They have 202 just off of placement alone. They've already picked up 92 frags over the course of 9 matches. They still have 3 in hand for most of the top teams that have already played here. You can see MBZ Falcons cracking into the top 8 here. No surprises for them either. They had a great round themselves. Might have gone out in 6th place, but it didn't matter. Placement has definitely been their thing, but look at the kill points. Tom, they're starting to stack those up because that's a team that have wanted to fight, but in a lot of their matches, they've just dropped so isolated.
Are they a team that we kind of called off a little bit too early?
Maybe we did.
They could definitely be one of the contenders that we didn't expect to do anything, because they play completely different in that game. And look at our man, let's say AM, they are in 10th position.
They're 1 point off of IQM. I mean, you're already in a safe spot, but you want to rack up as many as you can, and especially in the last couple of rounds to show how strong you are. And we're getting close to the bubble here. 963 do crest into the top 24, but they're not safe just yet. SMP also in there as well, but it's only a 7-point difference between those two. Remember, you just need to be in that spot. K Squad in 17th place, looking to climb up a little bit further. RBK313 as well. And of course, IK, who were involved in one of those early fights, still maintaining a 22nd position.
I think 963 might actually just be able to secure that, if I'm right in saying. Actually, no, because there are 2 teams who are going to be pushing up. It's going to be MEA and, MEA
and SB.
Also
Yeah, because TUB have already been pushed out, which means effectively they're out at this point because they have no more chances. They played all the matches they're going to. You see 10. They didn't load in for a couple of them. SB haven't loaded in for a lot, but they are playing today. And the ME Assassins, who lost a lot of their points due to a ruling, still nonetheless are a strong team. They picked up 36 off that chicken dinner. And honestly, if they do that again, they're on the crest of making it.
Yeah, I mean, they've already pretty much caught up with these 2 teams who are just above them. If they have a couple of decent games, they could. I don't see it not being possible for them to make it in, but let's have a look as we go into the second map. It's going to be Vikendi here. Will it be a Dino Park one today, though?
Maybe. We had a chance for it yesterday, but this is going to be a pretty good plane path, in my opinion, because it's dropping just from the south over the north. There's chances for teams to drop directly onto Cosmodrome. Maybe we'll see some Trevno play. And it looks like a lot of teams actually are starting to head out westward. And maybe we will see that Dino Park circle.
Yeah, and TRD haven't dropped yet. I think they're still waiting for a couple of teams to drop. And
oh, Thanos is in this time, so SMP have a full squad.
That's always good. It's good to see because it's never fun to see teams without all their players.
Yeah, maybe it was like the first Avengers movie where Thanos was just off screen, you know? That's not a spoiler. That was 2012, folks.
He just had Loki doing his work instead.
How come there's no Loki on that team? I'm disappointed.
Well, there's a good reason why, but
either
way, TRD are going to be headed on over to Goroka with, actually, I think that's like 4 different teams in total.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be an absolute blitz right now in Goroka. And I think a lot of the teams are seeing that. They're like, nope, do not want.
Even TRD are like, hang on a minute, we want to get that 350-point mark, so let's calm it down a little bit. Let's play our usual play, and the circle is probably a big dominant
north
factor
as you could expect right now. Look at Cosmodrome being on the right center of it. Same with Coal Mine.
This is bringing out back familiar sort of areas from the first game of the second day, where it did around the same circle, and I did right next to the river. But I think TRD want to secure a more central position so they can kill people. Kill people as they rotate.
Once again, MBZ have such a far way to go to get into the circle again, but at least they have a team to face off against. 963 will be there. But we'll start checking in with the teams that have posted up. Here we see IK.
And they actually had a decent showing in until MBZ crept up behind them and pretty much slit their throats up behind them. It was like, nope.
It's a quieter start this time. I'm sure they'll be happy about that. Here's MEA and JS as well, and they're up by Trevno.
Yeah, I mean, JS are a team that could bring in some surprising results. We've seen them do some interesting things in the past, but they're going to have to do a lot of work for that. And talking about a lot of work, SB, one of the teams at the very bottom, trying to get inside that bubble, could easily do it, especially if they take down 69 SWAT, or S&T as they want to be known now. Azrael looking to try and take an aim here.
Yeah, SB really need to make some tracks right now. They lost out on so many of their matches, but 69 SWAT, they seem pretty warmed up. Let's see if the S&T boys can make it happen. This is Narcos already getting knocked to start things off there, and it's Mustafa who's going to start opening fire, but it's just blind. Kind of pre-fires a little bit too early. Looking for Azrael.
And that's going to be a Tommy gun, one of the usual guns on the map so far. Maybe we'll see people move away from it, but it is a first pickup, so we'll see.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, he's fighting them in his panties.
You don't see that a lot on like desktop PUBG, right? I guess we don't see Vikendi either.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Vikendi yet, but we also never see Tommy gun because it's pretty much a dead weapon on that front. People only favor ARs and maybe some.
A little different in mobile PUBG for sure.
Yeah. It's pretty much set up. It's been around for a lot longer, but we are going to be seeing the pickup coming out from Captain onto Narcos. So they have to be careful because they're going to get pushed on here by SB.
Alrighty then. Should be able to get the res up. SB moving in. But if they can get some early frags, win a fight, not lose too many members, that starts to move the ball for them. It's not safe. They are still out of the top 24 positions with 3 more games, including this one to play.
Yeah, so SB, they've had a fairly quiet sort of gameplay due to the fact that they've played so few games. And then if we have a look at a couple of things about them, I mean, obviously, like you said earlier, they've only showed up for half their games and outside the bubble at the moment. But as we've seen in this match so far, they have actually been pretty good in firefights against these guys.
That's the key, right? It's like when they actually are in the games, they're not too bad. It's a lot of their point losses are from the fact that they just end up not dropping in sometimes. And, you know, that's unfortunate, but you got to be there when the lobby closes. Now, we will keep our eyes on JS up against MEA. Now, this is pretty lopsided because just the way MEA played last time and the way they have been playing, even though losing some of their points, JS just haven't been on the same level. They're one of the teams that really needs to shape up or they're going to be shipping out.
Yeah, I mean, they have proven sort of decent in the past, but it seems like it has been a little bit lackluster in the recent games. But we could see a little bit more of an interesting trend coming out from them very, very soon. And then having a look at a couple of the other teams. I mean, yeah, so S&T coming in here, being fairly consistent, but they haven't really shown up too much since that first day they came in with SWAT 69. Where
that was such an epic shootout on Miramar, man. It was so sick to see.
Yeah, they obviously came second in that game, but still showed it up. Let's have a look at Port here. It's going to be KA. They've been a bit of a fairly quiet team as well. I mean, they've been sort of around that sort of middle area in the sort of scoreboard, not really been achieving too much, but they, you know, we're trying to prove that they can live up to performance of some of the better sort of Iraqi teams like KS.
It's kind of a tough spot to be in when you're one of the middle tier Iraqi teams, because you're kind of fighting for a lot of your countrymen's support, and KS has been that fan favorite team. Now they aren't playing today, but they are well and surely locked in to the semifinals as well. But K has been one of those teams that have been trying to kind of bring up, not the rear, but bring up the middle of the pack when it comes to a lot of the Iraqi teams. Let's see now as TRD and AM will be facing off against one another.
Yeah, so still a little bit of distance between them, and TRD are going to start a rotation, so AM may well be looking for a bit of revenge here, because last game they did get pushed in to high corner by these guys.
Ooh, Butcher
Shots coming out.
didn't quite find the shots he was looking for. A couple of them actually onto hack shot, but it's just him solo driving through the plains here. And might have just been going for the scouting. But again, TRD can afford to have fun.
Yeah, they can just do whatever the hell they want because they have the points, but I think they do want to go for as high points as they can because that is the ideal situation for them. But guys, if you are obviously a fan of any of these teams, please do let us know. Also, make sure to join in the chat on Facebook or on YouTube, and make sure to tag your favorite team or just do the hashtag and the team name. Like for example, hashtag KS or hashtag TRD or KA. Whatever.
We're going to see KS in the chat, even though KS aren't playing today. That's how much support those guys have. It really is impressive to see how much people are actually following them. Oh boy.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing the push out, and also a couple of shots coming in from RBK onto TRD. Looks like TRD are not going to have any rest there. Hack shot just trolling around. I think
It just keeps driving, man.
I think he may just be getting some information for his team. Like, hey guys, I'm just going to go and find out all the positions of the teams just by driving around, and now he's returned home.
That's a long road trip to go solo. I hope you packed a little bit of tunes for this trouble as well. We will take a look at MBZ, though. This is one of the teams that placed fairly far out in terms of position, so they'll have to be driving away a little further, and they're just two-manning it up in the snowmobile. There's no one to really follow them, though.
No, I mean, they're going to be trying to go in for the hunts and for those kills. They've still got quite far off to be able to go. They do need to get a couple more kills, obviously.
It's Dino Park!
Your favorite area.
Yeah, but unfortunately the circle is nowhere near this, so 963 just kind of stopped in for a quick afternoon,
Yeah,
and they're out of there.
So no Dino Park in the first in the group stage. Maybe we'll see it in the semifinals.
We almost had it yesterday. Here's where the circle is, by the way, in case you guys were wondering. It will center on Cosmodrome, and a lot of teams up to the northwestern side, just north of Garaka.
I wonder what TLD are going to go up to, because they've actually figured out some of the positions of the teams on the eastern side.
They get the center so fast, man.
I hope they actually go for a 2-2 split on either side of this river, because that actually fixates them then for the future. If it goes on either side, they have a way to get across and defend each other, or at least plan for the future.
All right, looks like a couple of scattered shots are happening, but no serious fights right now as the teams scatter to reposition. Still 13 alive in all of this. Captain has been knocked, however. On the 69 SWAT side, RBK engaged in a fight. You can see there's one downed member, but RBK are leaving him for dead.
Yeah, and for dead they will be. SWAT, RBK can definitely go for them, but they've got one down player on each side, so it's actually about, yeah, it's an equal sort of situation between them. But I think RBK have the advantage here in regards to positioning. So we'll see what ends up happening there between these guys. I mean, 69 SWAT are inside a building, or SNT as I should get used to calling them when they're
changing the names in the middle of the tournament, man.
Well, you know what?
They could have done it on day one when there was a SWAT 69 and a 69 SWAT, but no, they got to do it on the final day of group stages. Come on.
You know what?
Nades in.
I'm calling it. We're just going to call them 69 SWAT.
There we go.
Change their tags.
Ooh, good shot. It looks like Lashin's going to get knocked down. H mode going beast mode. He was the hero of RBK on Erangel a couple of days ago. Narcos will be there to get the res up, but that might buy enough time for one of the RBK members to actually go and res his teammate. But he's not going for it. Can't get out of the cover. Looking for another nade inside. I don't think they see this, but they are moving away. So scattering just in time. Lashin cannot afford to tank another one. Looks like a Molotov should come through. H-Mode is going to get knocked down by Mustafa through the window. But Narcos standing in the flames. He's going to have to get out of there. Up to the rooftop they go.
I think a lot of these teams actually have to learn a little bit more about the grenade timers. And Mustafa jumps out, gets a kill, and that's going to be RBK.
That's the wipe.
Knocked out.
Wow. Oh,
Wow.
my goodness. Didn't expect that one. It looked like it could have turned around. But at the end of the day, it was going to be 69 SWAT coming up clutch here. MEA, there's a care package outside here. If they care to grab it, there's an AWM inside.
AWM will be pretty useful for them. Hopefully they see the red smoke billowing above that package. Should be fairly easy for them. And Snap, they've got all 4 members this time, and hopefully Nox don't find them and wipe them out early this time.
That's unfortunate for RBK, man. They looked so much better the last couple of days we've seen them play, but
yeah,
they kind of picked a bad fight early on, and it's rough. You know, you have 3 members on one side, 3 members on the other, but the house advantage was a little bit too strong, even with the good nade timings. You can see that 69 Squad are a team that can drop themselves out of a building, turn things around, and they took the fight.
Yeah, and, oh no, you know how I just mentioned Nox and Snap?
Yeah.
Now, Nox literally just turn up a couple of moments later. That is just good timing, but they are going to be driving away. And just reflecting on what you said in that conversation there about the RPK versus 69 SWAT. So grenade timings, it's kind of what I was going to bring up, is the fact that a lot of these guys do hold on to grenades, but they tend to either blow themselves up or put them away because they don't realize that they need to hold it for a certain amount of time and then throw it in. So there's not enough time for these guys to run away, which is exactly why they lost that fight. But we'll get back into that later on, as we are going to see an AM going for the rotation here, potentially coming up on top of 69 SWAT.
Yeah, healed up 69 SWAT as well, kind of posted out here. So this could help them out, but remember, not for nothing, AM were one of our top teams. They may have had a bad round on Sanhok, Vikendi a little bit more room to breathe. However, there's still a lot of that combat, you know, a lot of urban areas still within these next couple of places. They can go compound to compound if they want. We haven't seen a lot from some of these teams on the borders, though, and they're going to have to move pretty quickly as the next circle centers right into the middle. Great spot for TRD, great spot for MEA. JS on the outside, they're going to be coming in as well.
Yeah, and TRD are going to be playing this this map a little bit differently to how they're used to. And, you know, they're just taking a bit of a chill pill. They played a very aggressive last game. This time they are playing a little bit more chilled out, just taking more of a central position. Maybe we'll see them rotate across either side of the river eventually, but I imagine we will just see them play a little bit calm. If they do see an opponent, they may chase after them.
Ooh, there we go. Yeah, SMP trying to drive away from Nox, and Nox will be taking the long shots. They don't manage to knock anybody out, so SMP do manage to escape.
Pretty cool news from them being able to get away from Nox, who turned out to be a little bit toxic to them in the last game, managing to wipe them out.
Yeah, that was rough, man. It was almost the exact same thing, thinking Deja Vu is going to strike again because SMP were all in that one vehicle. We've seen a lot of teams move away from the single vehicle play, but I guess it's a bit of a scarcity thing here, and SMP find their own little farmstead. Yeah,
it's pretty decent for them. And yeah, being able to get this sort of central area is really good. Getting that package would be even better for them. I think they had an AUG in and full level 3. We are going to be seeing SWAT, 69 SWAT try to drive away, but AM are right on them. Butcher.
Yeah, Butcher's got the shot. Does he take it, though? That's the question. Narcos, they actually popped out of the vehicle really quickly, realizing they might get blown to pieces otherwise. Take a look at JS here. They're on the northeastern side looking in. And Snap are going to be able to loot that box.
That's actually pretty good. I'm glad they actually went for that because it does upgrade their
It's all Thanos, too.
Thanos, he wants to.
He's going to be armored up, man.
He wants to snap half the server out of existence, but
he might have to wait, though, to be honest. Some of these guys are real hardcore survivors.
I don't feel so good. But we'll see. I'm just having flashbacks of Infinity War, but Narcos
is dropped down. Oh, that was a quick one right now. So MBZ have kind of come up and crept around the backside, but AM are still in this one. And why is it always MBZ finding these third parties? These guys just smell blood in the water like sharks.
Yeah, and I mean, it's good news bears for them. They need to get all these kills. They want to try and catch up to as high as possible. And to be fair, with how they played last game, I wouldn't be surprised if they do make it into the top 6. Because it's easily possible, I think, with
I wouldn't either.
The points that was available. But let's see if they get shut down by AM, who have a lot to prove as well, as they're lower on the ranking than them. Now, I think down in 10th position, if I'm right saying.
Yeah, 69 SWAT still not going to be totally denied here with 2 knocked members. They're going to try to take the shots. You can see Lashin looking for Butcher. Doesn't find him. It was a close miss, though.
Yeah, trying to find those angles can be quite difficult on this map. And
he's
also
going to chuck the smoke here, trying to get Narcos up. He's not got a lot of time, though.
Nah, he's...
Oh, right as Mustafa made it.
But unfortunately, the skin of his teeth weren't enough, and he's going to drop down, and MBZ might be the guys who are looking to finish them off here.
You hate to see that if you're a 69 SWAT fan. MBZ, 2 members only here, so I'm not sure where the rest of them are, but they should be off screen. We haven't seen anybody drop down, and we will keep an eye on 963 and IK, who are out here instead. 963 only loaded in with 3 players, but they're going to play that quiet game. You know, dancing pirate strats, maybe not so much dancing, because we just have not seen them win a whole lot of firefights, but we have seen them place decently if they can keep that up, but they are far away as the next circle will come into play.
And this next circle is going to sort of change the whole game for a lot of these players. It's not as big as the following circle after this, but it's definitely going to shift a lot of these teams. I think probably
Big concentration
south,
too.
Maybe more central. Oh.
Ooh, that actually favors most of the squads in play. So this means IK963 and Nox have to move.
Yeah, and I think there's maybe also KA do have to slightly move. They're split up as well.
We might get a Cosmo end.
Oh, we have been wanting that. So it'll be quite interesting. I've not actually seen, like, because obviously this map's not been played competitively before this, not properly anyway.
Yeah, we've only getting one per day in general compared to the double Erangels, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really interested in this map because I was actually in favor of this map being sort of adapted into competitive play eventually. I don't think it was quite ready right off the bat. I mean,
newest map for sure. Yeah.
Yes, it seems like I've been proven more. I think there's still changes that need to be made to it. Still think it's a great map. The compound to compound movement is great to see, and we're also seeing a lot of use of cars. So it's kind of mixed between that Erangel and Miramar Phil with just a lot more compounds. I think there's probably like double the compounds. Just
yeah, it is nice because it is one big island too, right?
Yeah.
So like there's less chances even though we do have competitive circles, there's still a chance for some water to kind of come into play, which we're seeing as well here, but less of it than we do on a map like Sanhok, right?
Yeah, and I talk about water and stuff. There is actually frozen water, so it's the fact is that they actually bring in the sort of split between the islands, but instead of it just being water, it's more of like a crevice, and they have to go down and then back up. So it does open them up to be shot at, but they are able to at least make it.
Dear. That's an AWM drop just outside of TRD. We've seen these guys make magic before. Zero is a sniping god. But let's check back in with this tense third party that's been happening here. Three-way fight, 69 SWAT caught in the middle between MBZ and Arab Madness.
Yeah, I think they may get joined by K in a moment from the north if they're not careful. But we'll see. Butcher trying to keep an eye out behind him as well at the moment, but we are going to be seeing Mustafa dancing inside there. We can see his not reflection, his X-rayed body there. We might see a grenade actually coming out from one of these guys.
Ooh, yeah, Mustafa crouching down here up in the bathroom.
Oh,
man, he's just outside the range of the Molotov.
That's so close. Imagine if they doubled that up and actually chucked a grenade in through that window. That would have been beautiful. Beautiful. But yeah, I know. Look at this. Quiet. Going to be up in the hills as well.
Even KA are going to join in at some point, too. They've been sniffing around for a little while.
Yeah, like I mentioned, they are actually split up in two groups, so they're probably going to play too aggressive, and TRD are going to be pushing around.
Even 963 are coming in now. Of course, they have to, right? They do have to push up, but they just need to avoid all the teams, unfortunately. The closest team to them, oh boy, is the real deal. You got to get the heck out of there if you're facing them down. That would be a very lopsided fight.
Lopsided indeed, and especially if TRD do manage to get that AWM, which I think is out of reach now. K, on the other hand, this is the other half of the team I was talking about. They're actually very northern of this, and they're trying to sort of rotate down and potentially pick me up with their team, but at the same time, they know there's about 3 different teams in between them and their
There's
teammates.
still 12 squads alive, right? I mean, this is very different than what we saw in Sanhok, where a lot of teams got into fights early on, and then we saw a lot of early wipes. This time around, it's going to come down to some really chaotic mid-game to late-game fighting. Butcher on the outside here, looking to take up a better position to try and fire down some of these remaining 69 SWAT members. He does see Mustafa run through the window. Going to try to line up the shot. Doesn't take any fire, though. And look at the split here from Arab Madness.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty decent split for them. If they make it work for themselves and keep the angles covered and they don't get rushed, it could be great for them. Other end, let's talk about on the mountain. This is the sort of compound I was talking about very early on in the group stage.
Yeah,
that is quite interesting to see, but I don't think it's going to get played this either. Hardship
going to have to move
doesn't
soon.
really happen too much. It's going to be very similar to the second Vikendi map we saw. Cosmo's still in here, but it's going to be quite difficult to say if it goes either side, because now teams are going to have to split on either side of the river.
Here's the breach coming in for AM. They've actually grouped up again. Look at how low Mustafa is. Lashin's the only full health member remaining of SWAT 69. Mustafa does get a heal up, but AM are coming. Lashin trained the sights on, and he's going to open fire, but it's just a numbers game at this point. AM just way too strong as Lashin tries to come in around the bottom side, but they will be able to finish him off. Not before one member does get down, but that's going to be the end. Out in 12th place is 69 SWAT.
That's going to be painful. I mean, you change your name in the hopes of proving a little bit more, but unfortunately they get knocked out in that position. In 12th position, the worst one you can do so far.
And MBZ just watched. That's great patience from this side. We've seen them play so aggressively today.
Yeah, I thought they would have chucked in a couple more nades to try and get those frags, but it seems
they are moving up, though. Some low members on the AM side. Let's see if MBZ can do it. We've seen them play Vulture strats before, but it looks like instead they might just bail away. Here's the replay of what just happened.
So first off, we're going to be seeing, obviously, Butcher get that knockdown, which was so crucial, onto Mustafa, which allowed them to be able to push in and get the kills onto
that was the start.
SWAT.
All right, so MBZ are getting the heck out of Dodge. They realize this area is about to be pretty hot, so they want to find themselves a better position. And this is going back to some of the early stages of play. They're so good at actually getting into position, rotating well. But meanwhile, we got to check back in with a 963 and a couple of other fights going on because 963 are facing down a Nox squad who are very good at breaching compounds.
Yeah, they're a little bit toxic in the way they move around, and it seems like that's going to be proven fruitful for them. They've knocked down one of the players on 963. I wonder if TRD are going to come and join in soon enough, but at the moment, Snap are going to be coming under fire as well from
They
JS.
found JS. Thanos. Oh, goodbye. It's going to be Atez on his hands and knees, but meanwhile, the rest of this fight between Nox and 963 is going to end in favor of Nox, and they will knock 963 down. They do lose Maurice, and Dr. Aluz gets knocked as well. But Jesnaya, he kind of took a few of them with him.
That was really good play by them, to be fair. I mean, it was a bit unfortunate they lost one player, but 963 going out in 10th place is not what you want to be seeing. And now
No,
KA,
not for that bubble team, for sure.
And
It's just a bad luck.
KA are so close, but they are split up in two groups, so even if these guys do get wiped off the face of the earth by AM, which is potentially not going to happen, because they may not realize that these two members are here because they're playing so quiet in the shacks and around the area, but they are going to have to rotate and move away from these areas.
Another loot coming in for Zero. Oh my goodness.
It's actually a Groza. I think it's probably the third time we will have seen it played so far.
Not too frequently, sure, but when it does come out, looks like SB are going to find a couple of shots onto the KA members, so this is SahiBalata starting to show up here, but look at all these fights. They're being played around the corridors as this next circle comes in. It's actually moved away from Cosmodrome, so we might get a fairly open end. And
I think
Chessoir, do they see him? I don't think they do. Inside the house, they're going to open, and he just opens fire rather than busting out. Once again, the numbers game comes through, and that will be not the final KA member, not just yet.
They're punching him to death.
Oh, good lord.
That's so brutal.
Oh, no, and Samurai dies too.
Oh, no, that's not looking so good for them. They're so...
I think they still have one more remaining member on KA.
I think two, actually. Oh,
They
no,
have
no.
two?
Okay, no, so
Nah.
Samurai is dead, so it's going to be Mohammed who's
Well, he
the
would be
last
dead
person.
anyways.
Yeah. Mohammed is the last one left alive.
He's legging it just into the circle. This is what you got to do at this point. We've seen so many teams with one player survive a lot longer than they have any business doing. MEA have posted up by Cosmo. They will have to move away from it. Oh, hello.
It was just him eventually dying.
Yeah. Oh, that's just Samurai.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Oh, hello. Nox.
This is how you don't drive.
Come on. What are you doing?
They're
Although,
flipping.
that is
Wait a
probably
minute. They got back on the wheels? You're kidding me.
pro drivers, by the way.
Do not try this at home.
Oh, they're driving over towards TRD. That's not going to be good for them. And SB going to be walking through the snow. A little bit cold there, but I'm sure they'll be warming up as they run along over towards MBZ, where they may well be warming up a little bit too much and get full of lead.
We'll get a few more fights for certain as these teams come to meet one another. It looks like Cosmo will be the fight of another theater of war, as you will. IK looking to breach in, but they don't know MEA are here just yet. Meanwhile, TRD post up on the roadside. It's JS and KA and MBZ all in the distance.
In the distance, they will be for a little bit, but they have got to push in, and this next circle is going to be pushing people even closer
There's
together.
the shots. MEA unload onto the members of IK, and that means Kramek is going to get not knocked down just yet.
Oh.
Nades out. Oh, the bounce back, though, and he's not able to
he
go
got
anywhere
two!
with the Molotov, but he did get two down.
That was a fantastic nade. Oh, no, sorry, he only did damage to them. I thought he
It looked like he might have. How did Kramek actually get out of that without getting downed himself? That's impressive.
It was an impressive situation for them, but IK have proven actually pretty decent in these kind of situations. You can see on
right in the
the
center
map.
circle.
Oh, no.
Boy.
So it has actually favored TRD, but not as much as it's favored JS, who are on the other side of that
And
bridge.
the last KA member is actually going to be pretty happy with the position because he's on the opposite side of the bridge just trying to hide. However, a lot of these teams will probably be moving in their direction. Meanwhile, Nox, after flipping their car, coming up the road to TRD. Meanwhile, SB getting unloaded on here. Azrael going to get dropped by Los Kev, so is Atias. Entry, man, this might be the end for SB. It's another one of those bubble teams trying to stay alive. And wouldn't you know it, they get cleaned up. MBZ representing the UAE. Take them out.
That was Lost Kev, who did absolutely everything there, but he is going to get down by one of the members of AM. What a fantastic play for coming in from them, but unfortunately they are going to be tagged from multiple angles. They have to be careful. AM now going to have to move inside the circle, but they have the advantage over MBZ. Still want to maintain their sort of position in this circle, and they know they have to take out MBZ before they push in any further. But MEA pushing out of Cosmo, leaving IK to loot up that building.
Interesting. I mean, they probably got all the good loot anyways, and Nox are just driving all the way around the side here. One car, it's a little dangerous. They might lose some members here. You can see Dr. Lou's already taken some damage. Maurice is already down, so they only got 3 to work with, but they make a break here for JS.
Yeah, Yeah, the break, yeah, it could work for them, but unfortunately they've driven past.
Jeez.
And they may well end up dying if they're not careful. They are going to take a lot of damage, but they make it. They're alive.
How did that car not get blown?
Yeah, and they're actually in a really good position. I thought they'd driven on a little bit further through the circle, but nonetheless, they are actually going to be in one of the remaining compounds here. But JS are looking to sort of watch their back now. They weren't really too worried before, but they are now. But
Ooh, Galiko's down. That's going to be a test. JS managing to find a few shots. They do have superior numbers here, but how well can the Nox squad clutch this one? They are better at breaching than holding compounds typically, but we've seen them play well defensively, last a lot longer than we might have expected. Rip! Just inside the house as he was in the sights of Ben. Not a good place to be.
and it looks like they are actually going to be able to pick up Galeko there, and trying to hold this position with
Good
the
smoke.
M24 is good, but it's going to be very difficult, and unfortunately, because he had to use 3 of those smokes, late game is going to be difficult, but TRD
On MEA, Wasim
firefights.
dropped down here. The rest of the MEA members are going to try and get him back up, but it's going to be Kevin that gets knocked 0 down to half his health bars. MBZ pushing in as well onto the IK members, a little isolated over here on the frozen lake. Los Kev moving around.
Yeah, TRD going to be able to pick up that member,
I think that's it for IK.
Yeah.
No way they live through that. Still 8 teams remaining, which means there must at least be one more IK member up somewhere. But we don't know where just yet. TRD losing members, though, at least losing health bars on their members. Still alive, still threatening. MEA looking to push onto them.
Yeah, and I mean, if they take out MEA here, then MEA are going to get very disappointed. I mean, they've made it into the semifinals at least.
They need points.
Yeah.
They need points bad. They definitely have the skills to pay the bills, but can they get into the semifinals here? Right now, TRD standing before them. Looks like that's going to be a smoke down as the blue starts closing in. MBZ going to look to push. Hixu trying to stop this right now as Los Kev is going to just crawl for information.
One of their better players now, UT Boom, is trying to push in here, but he's being spotted.
Yeah, that's Hixu, and he just has the better shot right now. So all of a sudden, Boom is going to be in some serious trouble as he looks to try and push in. He's going to get taken down. MBZ out in 8th place.
That's a fantastic play coming in from them, and now it's going to be MBZ under the firing lines of TRD.
KA losing their last member as well, so they managed to survive a little bit longer than MBZ, but not much here. And all of a sudden, MEA starting to lose even more as JS joined the fray as well. AM across the bridge on this opposite side will need to get in placement soon, but you just can't keep TRD down. Look at that.
They've got 4 members. If they don't win this, somehow, I'd be surprised. Just purely to their skill level.
They got a double chicken dinner the other day, man. Anything is possible, but I do think they are very easily the strongest team in this tournament for the ME region.
Yeah, and I mean, MEA are actually in a pretty decent position in regards to being able to crawl in here, but JS know where they are, TRD know where they are.
That's the last IK member.
I didn't realize he was alive. That's crazy.
He's managed to hide. Managed to hide himself
He
in a nice
outlived
little
MBZ.
spot. He's gonna have to move across the frozen water, though.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to him playing all sneakily like that, he gained an extra placement for his team, maybe even 2, and now we're going to be seeing the push up from TRD. They're trying to get into a different position because they need to get inside the circle, and they're trying to catch up onto MEA here, which I don't know is actually even the better idea, but there's not really too many options for them to go. So watch
MEA
out
still
for
have
these
3 up.
next. Yeah.
They're going to be pushing in here. Remember, it's so important for them to pick up because they've lost all of their points
Oh.
due to rulings. Abbas, it's not quite down yet, trying to run it, but TRD have him in the sights, and now he's dead to rights. Hixu getting that knockdown. Guns is going to go ahead and use a first aid kit to make sure he's nice and healthy, but this is effectively down to 2 members for the MEA side, and they're going to have to try and breach into a 4-member strong JS squad, who are playing for their tournament lives as well. Remember, they were the team that needed to protect their bubble position, but look at TRD with 4 members playing just on the edge of the blue. The nades, though, they're bouncing in the wrong direction. They're going to have to run in blind here. Into the smoke they go. And it looks like the fight's on right now. Guns is going to start by opening up onto Ates, getting the kill after the down. Hackshot gets knocked as well. Dr. Lou's unloading onto the MEA and JS members alike.
So Zero is going to get downed and
Headshot.
potentially going down. This is not looking so good. We've only got 2 remaining members of TRD
6
standing.
teams up in this circle right now, and we're 28 minutes on Vikendi. This is absolute insanity. AM have 3 members sitting underneath the bridge, but there's going to be a Molotov thrown out. B-52 cannot move. And Nox right behind them there. They better check their 6.
Yeah, and Hackshot is going to be able to get picked up here, so it's going to be fairly good for these guys. They're going to be able to get up another member, and I think that'll leave them with 3, if I'm right in saying. But
I don't
they're
know where
going
the
to be
3rd is from TRD.
He's right behind him.
Yeah, there we go. Hixu.
Yeah, so they're going to have to hide behind smokes. IK might actually be able to outlive them in his current position because TRD are currently under the threat of JS, and JS are fairly safe. because MEA are not going to be pushing.
Nox are dropping down too. So who's flanking who right now? They actually see the AM members. Dr. Luz is going to go for this, but AM have already caught wind of it. And Dr. Luz, he runs right into a nest of fire. And Galiko is going to try to bring up the flank to see if they can get the finishing blows off to B52. He's going to be able to stay alive behind that rock here. And Nox, they may have bitten off a little more than they could chew in this situation, but there are 2 knocked. Molotov is going to go down, as is Butcher. So it is now a 2-on-2 with Nox and AM, and make that a 2-on-1 as they will be able to loot up. B52 is going to do a run.
Oh, and they've actually spotted out B52 as he tries to push up against him, and he's going to get down. That's going to leave 5 remaining teams at TRD securing their top 5 spots minimum.
And Mehmet going in here, unloading onto the remaining TRD members, so they might go out here, but Hackshot is still healthy as Jazz still trying to fight it out. It's going to be a one-on-one between Mehmet and Hackshot. Meanwhile, MEA looking across the way to see if they can knock someone down. Mehmet might just lose his life here. He is so low, and Hackshot just needs to find him.
He just needs to push in. He's got such an advantage
IK is still
here.
alive. Hoger is just crawling it. He's snaking it out.
Oh, Falastine might actually find Mehmet instead. Mehmet, rather. This is so difficult. They're all going to be in towards
Got to see inside the house. Bring the cam in here. It's going to be Guns looking to peek around the side. This is so tense. 3 teams occupying the same house, not got sights on one another. Molotov is going to go in the window here for Guns, but Hackshot's not quite there. And it's nothing but a tile wall separating Mehmet and the MEA members. Here's the peek in. He gets a knockdown onto Falastine, and he can finish the job, but no, Guns is there.
This is such an interesting situation. Hackshot now knows exactly where MEA Guns is, and he's not going to be able to pick up his teammates. They're the only ones. This is a 1v1v2.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
Hackshot versus
IK's
Guns.
down. Yeah.
IK is out. Looks like they dropped in the chaos right now. So it's going to be all down to Hackshot, Guns, and 2 members of Nox.
A single grenade could take out these guys if it was so, but it's going to be difficult for these other members to recognize where they are. So Hackshot and Guns in a very difficult situation.
This might be a Nox clutch.
Nox should have this in the bag. If they don't take this, I'd be very disappointed and a little bit confused as to how they managed to lose that one, but we will see as the circle's going to be pushing in. The heals are going to be coming in as well from Guns, the stims. Full stims means that you're going to be able to run fast and also heal at maximum pace, but his body armor is almost broken, but he has a level 3 head armor, so he should be trying to pick up another one. And he does hear some movement rather from Hackshot.
And I think for Nox, they're just happy because they can see these last 2 remaining wildcard players sort of take each other out and potentially just be able to finish the job here. Hackshot does go to breach in. Meanwhile, Galiko going for the crawl, and Guns has taken down the last remaining member of TRD. They will go out in 3rd place. And now it's going to be a 2-on-1.
That was a bad play by Hackshot. I don't know why he actually pushed in there, because he knew someone was going to be inside that building.
This favors Nox so heavily right now.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't win this, then I'll eat my hat.
You don't have a hat.
Look, shut up. But he is going to be spotted. He is going to be able to take a couple of
got
shots.
He's got the down. Hold on a second. He could do this right now. He could clutch it against Galiko. Look at the health bar. It's so low. He just needs to peek around the side, and he's done it. MEA with another chicken dinner.
I just want to make a statement here. I don't have a hat, so I can't eat one, okay?
That is such a technicality. Man, but that win was anything but right there. Guns coming up huge on the clutch play and knocking out the last 2 Nox members after getting Hackshot. He just had the jump on him, and you can see how badly MEA want this.
That was just absolutely nuts there. I mean, mad props to Guns being able to pick that one up, and I think it was kind of gifted to him in a way, because Hackshot jumping in through that window, what are you playing at?
Yeah, but he executed in the end, right? Still counts.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that end play, fair play. He executed that fantastically, especially with Nox playing like they did. They missed their shots, and they got punished for it. I mean, they did a split, which was really good, but unfortunately, he had a wall that favored him. He took down the first player, who would have actually been able to kill him, but the second player was blocked off by the wall. The repeat came in from Guns, and the chicken dinner followed.
So that's 2 chicken dinners now. So we should see them in a relatively safe position if they can keep up placement. Possibly a little bit more to guarantee their spot into the top 24, but the way MEA are playing, they're looking unstoppable right now. Here's the start of that. The highlights coming in with 69 SWAT, finding RBK in the early fights. Yeah,
and this was going so heavily in RBK's favor, but they drop the ball, go out, and then we see 69 SWAT going out to AM a little bit later on as the push comes in.
Oh, Mustafa got a bit of a dance in. We didn't even catch that part.
The dancing SNT. I wonder what SNT stands for. And this headshot really started the downfall of 69 SWAT.
That allowed the breach in, but you could see that MBZ were sniffing around for the after plays. AM were a little bit weakened. 1 down player, lost a couple of health bars. 2 down players make it, and then they were able to push in to take it. And this is one of those things that MBZ are really good at, is realizing that it's a good moment to go in after the fight's already ended. Vulture play is what I like to call it.
Yeah, I mean, but AM did make it all the way through to the end there, and they were under the bridge, so it's actually really surprising for them being able to do that. And then we actually see Thanos doing a lot of damage, but unfortunately for him, he jumps over, and it's actually going to be the click of the fingers, and he's out of the match. And unfortunately, Snap couldn't afford to do that, and somehow AM managed to find this player, knock him down, and then punch him to death.
Yeah,
a bit rude.
I feel like if you are in that situation as one of the last remaining members of KA, you want to go breaching before they get into the house, because then you can just unload in a long spray and maybe take 1 or 2 out with you. It's very unlikely you survive in that situation. We will see MBZ now looking to breach in a little bit later onto the IK members. Or rather SB members, they do come off a lot better.
It was actually SB who had tried to push up against them, and unfortunately, they had a member drop out the window and slaughter them. Then we saw MBZ go out to TRD, MEA push up
MVP
to JS.
For MEA.
Yeah.
Guns right there. That was one of his first kills. Now we will see Nox. This is where they find AM. You're right. Pretty much all of their members staying alive up until this point under the rocks. But who was catching who? Nox definitely looked a lot better in that situation.
JS trying to recover from a situation against TRD, and they do really well up to the point where Mehmet actually pushes in with guns, downs one of the players, finishes him, but at the same time, Mehmet rather gets taken down.
He didn't reckon on too.
Cleans up for his team, including TRD momentarily, as Hackshot just pushes in through this window, and it's just not going to work for him as he's going down to the MVP.
Oof, a little bit of blind fire, but finally goes in. The aim down sights there for Guns, and here's the final play of the game. And it really comes down to seeing Ben just outside the smoke, and that was brilliant, but definitely a mistake on the Nox side. And at this point, it was really easy for Guns to just wrap around. He knows all he needs is one shot. He can afford to walk into the blue while there's a heal coming in for Galiko, and he just hits the tip of the backpack. Unfortunately, that's part of the hitbox, and there you go.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, trying to heal behind that tree was never going to be anything for Nox. So he was about to get touched by the blue and would have died either way. But GG, well played. Look at this score, though. 9 kills on Lost Kev, as usual.
MBZ are completely turning into a frag team after some quiet early rounds where they just had a lot of rotational play. All of a sudden, they go in there. They want to earn as many as they can off those kills. It's crazy to see the transformation.
Yeah, it's a completely sort of different turn of face from these guys. They've actually come in a little bit more aggressive, and they've got some of the good rotations as well. Not the final execution, though. It doesn't seem. They've got to fairly close to the end each time, but not able to sort of maintain that higher position. Either way, lots of good players on here. We can see Guns.
It's a big split, actually, this time. We have so many different teams represented in the top 10 leaderboard because a lot of teams are really coming in looking for all-star players to show up. It is the last day of the group stages after all. You want to go all out.
And you know what? TRD actually come in at 3rd place once again. They came in 3rd place last time, and they don't actually get that many kills as well to boot. I think they only got 4, maybe 5.
They had a few quiet rounds, right? They dropped, and not a lot of teams wanted to get anywhere near them. I wonder why. Let's take a look at the head-to-heads, though. This time we're going to be looking at MBZ Falcons versus Just Survive, who actually lasted quite a long ways. Equal number of kills, but it is all about that placement, so you see the difference in match points.
Yeah, I mean, literally half the sort of stand-ins here you can see between these two teams, and also almost half the damage on it, but not half the kills there, because that's just ridiculous. I mean, 9 kills, very well played from JS. I mean, they're one of the teams we brought up, and who are they? Oh, well, you know
These are the standout players. Los Kev with 9, and Mehmet with 7. I mean, also the damage done. I feel like this is actually fairly even between these two players in terms of what they actually contributed for their teams.
Yeah, well, they actually dominated damage on both their teams. I mean, Mehmet actually got nearly all the damage on his team there, from looking at it. That is just nuts for him. So fair play to him. Moving on, we actually see 0-0 kills on both these players. Damage is very low on.
Yeah, Rip was he got picked off really early on, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, same as Kevlos. Actually, MBZ were playing with 3 players for quite a while. A lot of distance traveled on both of them still, but that's just due to the way the circles play on this map. And then going into the next pairing, we do see UT Boom and also SWAT. Would have expected a little bit more from UT Boom, but
he usually does come up a little bit more clutch, but he did drop in one of those early fights. I think they might have actually engaged TRD.
Yeah, when they were trying to cross the river, actually, they ended up dying,
Yeah, and that was a bit troubling for them, so they did lose a little bit more here. And then, of course, UT Script didn't really get a whole lot done for his team either. Did cover a lot of distance, but ended up being cannon fodder at the end of the day. And Tess, a little bit more on the damage department, gets himself 1 kill, but that's about it.
Yeah, so you can see that both of these teams were pretty much carried by one player here overall, but there would have been sort of the utility plays from these guys, the smokes, the grenades, the flashes, the molotovs as well, holding out people, as well as the information coming in. So it is a team game, guys, so make sure if you are playing with these guys, with guys in the mobile version, just play with them nicely. use communication and also help out your teammates and pick them
Of
up.
course, yeah, of course, yeah. It's interesting seeing that too, because MBZ are usually a little bit more of a team-focused team, where you see a lot of the kills spread around a little bit. But that time we had a clear standout performer, and on the JS side, we hadn't seen as much out of them. A couple of standout performances, that was definitely one of them as well. And if, of course, you want to see all of that information, where those teams did manage to stand out and make a stand, you can go ahead and check out our website over at clubopen.pubgmobile.com for all the up-to-date standings, including all the player rosters as well. And it's always a good resource to be able to keep up. That's what we use, guys, to make sure we know all the info on the players too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a organization looking for a team, or if you just want to see a team and how they're doing and how they sort of track throughout the tournament, make sure to go check them out. If you want to see how to play and maybe some of the highlights of the teams, there's also a dedicated place on a well-known website. I think a few people
You might have heard of it. It's called youtube.com/PUBGMobile Esports. That is our channel. You can, of course, catch all of the action there. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. And, of course,
ding-dong that notification bell.
ooh, we did that in a normal accent this time.
Hey.
Got all the variations. Good stuff.
Gotta give it.
Oh, of course, man. So it's been a good couple of matches, but we've got 2 more on Erangel next before we close out the group stages. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back with more of the PUBG Mobile Club Open.
Zombie, Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
for free.
Man, sick guitar riffs. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the PMCO. This is, of course, going to be the MEA group stages. The last couple of games, it all comes down to this. I'm still Pirate Tanks. He is still Wee Freeman. And you know what time it is, Tom? It's time for Erangel! Last two matches. It's going to be great. The best map in PUBG, of course. PUBG or PUBG Mobile. Good stuff.
It definitely is. It's the one we're all used to, the one we all know and love.
The classic.
Yeah, I do actually miss a little bit of Miramar, which has been surprising to me.
Yeah, we'll maybe see it back next week in the semifinals, but for now, it's all about that Erangel, man. It's going to be good. We've seen some legendary plays. RBK yesterday showing up with that Pride Rock play IH mode, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, man.
So tasty. I mean, there's so many opportunities here, and you know what's even tastier? The chicken dinners that MEA
have been getting,
have won.
They really want this.
To back, and a couple of kills to boot as well, and they're really trying to jump up there. They had 0 points to start today. Probably the best storyline that we could actually see come out from this is that
it's a redemption story for sure.
Yeah, it's a redemption story. They lost the points for complete real reason. And look at this. We do see the 300 mark broken by the real deal.
No surprises there.
And
it's
then,
massive.
You know what? MBZ, we talked about them making it to the top 6, and they've done
so
that.
Close to Kurd Squad right now. They might actually pass them and get themselves into the 5th place position. They could even overtake Executor in 2 more rounds.
You know what? I think I heard Facebook chat and YouTube chat say that that MBZ Falcons are actually better than Kurd Squad.
No way.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, they might be have some trouble.
If I'm wrong, they can definitely chat away and let us know.
Nox as well breaking into the top 8 position with that 2nd place finish. Not bad for them.
Yeah, maybe they'll be better than Kurd Squad as well in placement. So we'll have to see. I mean, it's a little bit of a difficult time for them to see, but we'll see. We're gonna be seeing the next 8 in a moment on the screen, but have to give mad props to TRD, MBZ Falcons, and Nox so far today. They've been playing fantastic. Moving onwards, we do want to see the real deal try and make it up to 350 points. But otherwise, let's have a look at AM.
There we go, 188. They're in 9th place right now. They've already passed LND, still some chances. So they bounce down, they bounce back up. They're in the 9th place position. We'll see them in the last couple of rounds trying to pick it up a little bit further. But SNT, formerly 69 SWAT, they've moved up into the 11th place spot. And, they're kind of overcoming a lot of those other opponents that were really close on them in previous days.
Yeah, I mean, they've overtaken their counterpart, SWAT 69. Obviously, I say counterpart only in name of the old name.
Yeah, we really pitted them against one another, especially because that Miramar match where they had that 1v1 earlier. But this is where it gets real interesting right now. You look down at the 24th position, 963, SMP right there on the edge. RBK have moved up just a little bit as well. iKurdTeam, KA Squad, they're further up, Just Survive further up as well. This is the bubble. This is where it gets tense.
Yeah, so 963 have made it in. ME Assassins have now made it 25th spot. They've overtaken that TUB and also SB. SB, the team playing, TUB
SB
not
could
today.
still get in this. That's the thing.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's still a couple of teams in the top 24 who aren't playing today and are also very low scoring so far. So we've got another 2 matches. And I really want to see MEA just take these last 2 matches. Obviously, I want to root for a couple of the other teams as well. But the storyline that could come out if MEA come in through this and have a storyline of redemption, it would be beautiful.
I think it really comes down to MEA, SMP, SB, and of course our last team, 963. Those are the teams that we really want to keep our eyes on for the last couple of rounds because only 2 of those realistically are going to make it into the top 24 rather, and get their spot in the semifinals. But we are going to be dropping onto Erangel. The plane comes from the northeast and over into due west, just over Hospital will be where it ends. And as always, we do want to watch where TRD go because a lot of teams should be avoiding them. But here's the early drops coming out of MBZ and MEA.
Hang on. Illuminati on the MBZ. Who's that?
New player.
He's one of their
A new player has entered the game.
A new player has entered the game. And they're going up towards Kameshki.
We don't see that drop very often at all.
No. But
Nobody goes there.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a flight path that does allow that, but we're going to be seeing Snap go up towards Savoni. That is one of their usual spots.
Yeah, they like it.
TRD, though, they're going to be going over towards South Georgia Hospital, it seems, or Knox. They have just dropped a little bit too early, so they might
dropping
go
towards Georgia Pool.
crates.
Yeah, we might see
crates. And we're going to be seeing a bunch of teams going here. That's going to be a
69 swatter here, too.
Yeah, 963 are going to back away from this and duck over towards Gatka. Makes sense. KA drop out. They have got a decent area to loot themselves there.
And SP the only team that have dropped Pachinki.
Interesting. And
What is this? What we saw in like the first couple days. And look at that circle. Oh my goodness, this is great here for TRD as we get a very Western focused circle, something we don't often see. We might actually end up with the Georgia Pool circle.
Yeah, and I mean, talk about one of the sort of favorite teams here and one of the teams with the interesting storyline. MEA are going to be landing right next to Milta Power, and they're going to have to go across map.
No strangers from being far away from the circle. We saw what happened. There was a map, ended up getting a military circle. They were far away to the west. They tried to swim it. They actually ended up dying environmentally, and that was one of their worst rounds. But a lot of these easternmost teams are going to have to be reshuffling their priorities. You can see MBZ once again. You got to think, these guys are just shaking their heads. How does the circle always go so far away from us?
Well, probably something to do with the fact that they go on one of the edge and there's a high. Well, there's
They
like
like to live on the edge.
50% chance. Not quite that they're going to miss it. So it's a bit unfortunate there. Fun,
All right.
But TRD are going to be in crates with
Crate combat.
69 SWAT. So 69 SWAT having to like take them out. And
Ooh, Narcos finds it down on a hack shot early. Oh boy, plot thickens here for the 69 SWAT side. If they could actually take out TRD, I mean, this is not an even fight by any means based on the way TRD play, but with hack shot down, Zero's going to have to run in, group up, try to get their teammate back onto his feet. And TRD do like to split out a little bit.
they are going to be able to, obviously, like picking them up, like you said, they do tend to split up. It's not always their strong suit. It can also be their sort of weak suit because their strength is in their sort of team play. But they are going to be playing as a team, picking each other up. Crate's going to be an interesting place for people to loot, but sometimes it can also leave you a little bit bare and wanting for more. And talking about wanting for more, we're going to be seeing AM versus SB in Pochinki. And this is inside the circle, so this is going to be a long, drawn-out fight. B52 is going to be on top of the houses here, spotting out SB. He has actually seen them, so he's going to be able to pounce on them and also feed the information to Butcher, who's on a closer house roof with the shots coming out.
SB already losing Azrael. He's down by B52, and AM just have such a better positioning right now. And this is the problem we see with SB. They just don't always see opponents coming. They get knocked early. They are going to turn on to B52, and he does have to jump to it on the rooftop.
Yeah, luckily they actually have a lot of place to be space rather and places to be able to jump to on these roofs and have the advantage, whilst another player, Quiet, going to be coming in, trying to help out his teammates.
Firing on to Quiet, so SB will be able to recover from this one. They have got a decent split going for themselves. You can see Ori is going to be moving up into this one building, but AM, they've got a nice holdout. And the nade's out. Oh boy. That is Quiet in a 1v2, and he's actually finding quite a lot here.
Yeah, B52 is just keeping an overview here from a distance, trying to make sure no one is going to be pushing up on his teammate Quiet too close. He's got an interesting one here, and actually Quiet gets a knock with the grenade onto one of the players here, and now SB are going to have to try and pick him up once again here.
Remember, these are this is one of the teams to watch right now. SB, they are on the bubble. They're outside the bubble. They need to have a good performance on these last two maps to have any chance of making it in right now.
Yeah, and AM have actually split up still a little bit more than I thought they would have. They're not pushing in to try and help in. I mean, Butcher's still got a decent angle, but now Quiet's going to be in a difficult situation, and he's going to get down and finished.
Nice job by Azrael there. He comes in, and I don't think Quiet was expecting that one. So, SB coming out ahead here. B52 drops, takes fall damage. Meanwhile, over at the 69 SWAT fight, Mustafa actually takes out Zero, and that's over back on crates, but we still are watching Pachinki here as AM are actually just going to bail out, but now we're back to the crates.
Interesting situation developing here over towards the crates. I mean,
Lushan's knocked.
69 SWAT have already knocked down one of the members and finished them on the side of TRD. One of the better members, Zero, who's been famous for his shots with the AWM and other snipers, and Lashin is going to get picked up, heals up as well, and now it's in their advantage.
Certainly is. But TRD aren't out until they're out. Checking back in with this one, AM have actually just repositioned to the outer edges of Pachinki, which has allowed SB to push in a little further. We'll check in with a few other teams as we go. 4 members strong, SMP, another one of the teams we want to make sure we watch as they are on the bubble. We're just going to go driving away. And here comes 69 SWAT, but Captain, he pushes up a little too far. Takes a lot of damage. He does get a down onto Hixu, though. So he trades better than he's getting.
Yeah, this could actually be the worst placement for TRD if they don't back away from this fight, which they're not going to, and now the closing line is coming in.
Here comes La Shin, and Narcos up on the side here. It might just be like shooting fish in a barrel. Hixu is still on his knees. Nades are flying here. Packshot losing a lot of health as Narcos just opens fire. Kevin might be the last member standing here, and TRD, are they about to go out in 13th place?
They did.
I think they did.
Wow.
I have not seen the likes of that happen. The worst finish for TRD. They're still our scariest team in this region, but 69 SWAT just showed up.
11 games, all top... Sorry, 10 games, all top 5. 11th game, 13th spot. Now, that is a drastic fall from grace, but
That means Chicken Dinner's wide open. I mean, it has been MEA that's grabbed it twice in a row now, but this match has just gotten very spicy.
Yeah, I think like TRD are obviously playing out of character for what they're doing. They've dropped in completely different places. They did it last Erangel games. This time round, crates was not their area to drop. Unfortunately, they tried to take in someone else's presence, and they needed this backslap because they were trying to play rude, and they got slapped for it. This is what we call on sort of the PC, sort of the desktop version, sort of bad faith, that you're actually trying to hot drop into someone's place, and you're going to get bitch slapped for it.
Yeah, and at this point, you know, they're not super worried about placement. They've managed to get themselves, you know, pretty high up the standings, a very safe first place position. But it's better they make these mistakes now in their hubris than have it happen in the semifinals when they can't get knocked down a peg. And B52 opening up onto two members of SB, finding only one down, though. It could have been more.
That was so close. All he had to do was hit one more shot.
He's got it.
Lands it with the
Oh,
UMP.
this is bait. Don't go. That's bait. B52 looking for the last two members of SB here.
He's not the only player on his team, but he seems to be the only one really doing anything for them, apart from Quiet, who's now dead because the teammates wouldn't back him up, and he was stuck alone there. But we will see what ends up happening here.
It's a tough call for SB, though, getting two down, so they're going to have to res their members, take some time, maybe see a little bit of ground. Meanwhile, IK and RBK continue to trade blows with one another. But we will see B52 wrapping around. Breaches into the house. Going to take back some of that territory that they lost earlier on Pachinki.
Yeah, I mean, if they switch around and sort of
Look
wrap
at his flank.
Yeah, I mean, if they wrap around, this could actually be fantastic for them. Oh,
Nade's primed.
It's actually perfect for him, but he doesn't chuck it. What is up with these guys not chucking these grenades?
AM just do seem to have a little bit of off timings right now, not realizing they could take the shot instead. He backs out. Surprising play here. Meanwhile, we're taking a look at another fight. This is RBK knocking down more members of iKurd here, and it looks like it's going to be H mode once again onto Kramek.
Not having the best of time. H-Mode trying to back away from this fight as they push in through the windows. They may not realize where he is. They
do.
Pushing
away, a lot of blind fire, spraying and praying, but who's going to come up ahead? It looks like it will be RBK's H-Mode.
Really
Still
well
again.
played from these guys.
Didn't see that one. Wait a minute.
Wait.
He ran out of bullets.
Oh.
That's an oopsie.
Big oopsie from him, and he's going to be down and out for the count there. Now we're going to switch on over towards IK. No, not IK. SB, rather, in Pachinki.
I can't believe they survived that. That was Butcher just not taking the shot with the nade.
Yeah, that was really disappointing. They should have performed a lot better than they did, but they didn't. So that is going to be the storyline. Butcher going to be back on top of the house, takes a couple of shots, doesn't down anyone as of yet.
No. See if he can find another shot here. So SB not out of the woods just yet on Pachinki. The circle will start to shrink down. We'll see if the teams will have to move anytime soon. Still 11 left alive, but the big surprise so far is that TRD are not one of them.
TRD. Such a sad moment for them, falling so far from grace, like I mentioned earlier. But Butcher,
sigh of relief for all the other teams in the tournament, though.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, they had to have that sort of situation happen to them. And now Butcher does manage to get away from that top of the roof, which I think was probably the best situation because they knew he was there and he would have been open to fire. But now he's got a bit more protection as he runs away from SB. This is a cat and mouse situation. Yeah,
but who's the cat, who's the mouse? It's kind of hard to say. Next circle does come in, and it looks like Georgia Pool's still going to be in play here. SMP going to move into shooting range, and Pachinki still on the edge, but the circle is centered on Ruins, and that is where MEA and another team, looks like that might be 963, are going to be moving towards.
Yeah, and they do have to rotate up a little bit. MEA as well, they have taken a little bit of fire damage, I think, maybe from a couple of teams, and that is going to be 963, if I'm right in saying.
They need so many points. They've already acquired 2 chicken dinners and a hell of a lot of frags to boot, but they need to make up a lot more right now after losing a lot of them earlier to the ruling. Looks like B52 gets it down into Ori, so fight continues to go.
Is there any other members on the team of AM? Because he seems to be doing all the downs here. His
what's going on?
His damage is going to be insane.
I mean, Butcher's just running circles. Molotov has been holed up here in the back of this house. And SB have decided finally grouping might be a bad idea.
And unfortunately for Ori, that's not going to be the case because he really needs a team member. And MBZ on the other side of the map are going to be in North Georgia Pool looking for IK. And IK took out RBK earlier.
It's a big town, though, so there's plenty of room for all until the circle closes down. MBZ only seeing 3 on the screen right now. And here is SMP finding their way onto shooting range. Should be a decent loot spot for them, and nobody's here.
Good opportunity for them, but look at this. SB
Butcher.
going to go down. Butcher finally going to be able to find the finish here. Now there's only one, no, maybe 2 members left on SB. I can't quite see the second
It's
rather.
just Azrael.
I think it is just Azrael.
Yeah, I mean, this was the patience paying off finally for AM. Safe shots as Butcher takes to the rooftops, but it's disaster for SB again. Remember, they're outside the bubble. They need to place well within the top 10, so you better believe Azrael is just going to run the heck out of there.
Yeah, get out of dodge. And they went out very early last game.
It's the hopes and dreams
to
for
MBZ.
SB right now, on the line.
Yeah. I mean, SB went out to MBZ last time to 1 player. That was insane, and now...
Butcher's hunting. Oh, Azrael. He takes a few shots. He actually nearly finds the down into Molotov, but he can't stick around.
I don't even think he should have stuck around for that fight. He should have just been out of there. Luckily for him, these windows are open. He's going to be able to jump out and run away. Butcher is the only contestant here, maybe B52, but Azrael should really not be sticking in around these buildings. He should be running for the hills.
Team's closing in on him right now. Ooh, an AWM picked up by SWAT 69, or 69 SWAT, rather. Nice by them after they finish off TRD over at Crates. They're going to be feeling on top of the world right now.
Oh, and MBZ, you said it was a big town, but apparently not big enough. And now
Ooh,
SMP are going to be
in.
joining in.
So they didn't stick around at shooting range. Instead, they decide to move their way into North Georgia Pool. Meanwhile, in the south, 69 SWAT are coming in.
Yeah, in the circle, look at that, so interesting here. So it's going
Oh,
to
look at that. SP they take an immediate 180. Wait a minute. There's the new circle. Let's head over to Ruins, guys.
They could actually get a really interesting position if
There
they,
we go, Azrael. Oh, dear. Still under fire, and he gets dropped. That's it. 11th place for SB. That feels bad, man.
Feels bad, man, indeed. And also for SWAT as well, because this car is out of fuel, so he's going to have to jump at his teammates, and they're going to rotate from Gatka up north and trying to get a better position here inside the circle. That hill, that mountain Kilimanjaro, as some people call it, are going to be trying to get on either on that mountain or inside Ruins. There is a couple of buildings around there, but far and few between.
Hoger's been left for dead at this point.
Oh, yeah, just leave him be. Oh, they could actually go get him.
They might be able to res him now that I see it. They're not too far away. The problem is MBZ are not too far away here on North Georgia Pool. Rowan is just not feeling it. I think Hoger's dead.
Yeah, I think the circle's coming in 3 seconds. They want to be a little bit wary as to how they're playing. They don't want to go out early, so that was actually a tactical play by them. Fair play. MBZ are a scary team at the moment. They've been doing very well, or at least Kevlos has been doing fantastically.
They've been placed in about 6th place or just about the last couple of rounds.
Oh.
8th in that last one, and now we've got another car fight. Looks like JS are going to get chased down here by 963. We've just got shots flying in all directions there. JS, though, did have a down onto Mehmet, and SWAT has already been on his knees. A little bit of damage from the 963 members, but they find a nice bit of soft cover here as they open fire. Yeah,
and they're going to be able to get the finish onto Mehmet, who was the player who got 1.3k damage by himself at the end of last game.
Oh, boy. Turns his sights right there. If they can blow the car, it looks like they're going to be out, though.
Yeah, I think they've made it out of here. That VSS doesn't do much damage. It can fire very fast.
KA are coming in. I don't know if
great.
963 see this.
I think they're running, so it's not really going to be hard to...
Yeah.
It's not really going to be easy to see them or hear them.
Well, there's JS moving on out into the country. Taking a nice little drive along the way, but they did lose Mehmet already, so down to 3 members. JS managed to survive quite a long time in that previous matchup, and it looks like KA, they've only got Samurai in a vehicle. Not sure where the rest of the team is.
Well, it looks like they're splitting up again, which hasn't worked for other teams like TUB or VW in yesterday's games, so hopefully they do change that up. Snap, though, have got this position. It's on the wrong side of the river, though. It won't land on this one, or very
but they're near a bridge,
unlikely,
at least.
though. And this is actually a position we call Cubed. It's pretty good position to hold in the game. You can kill people as they try to cross the bridge, but in this circle, definitely want to be on the opposite side, on the southern side of the circle, but we'll see what ends up happening. 6-9 SWAT have actually returned to Homestead into the crates area where they wiped TRD earlier, and we're going to be seeing IK in a pretty strong position here, but they are going to be coming under fire from 6-9 SWAT. And they're going to be taking a bit of damage.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe not the best place to be, and the next circle will come in very shortly, centered on the Ruins, so JS are in a good spot. Everyone else is going to have to move.
It's the next circle coming in.
Oh, dear.
Okay,
Goodbye, Samurai.
does go down. That's not going to be so good for
Yeah,
him.
963 do manage to polish him off. Doing pretty good with a couple of team kills so far, and that means that the top 10 places are going to be set here. AM down to 3 members.
3 members going to have to do a lot of work here. I mean, we have got K quite close by next to AM. But they are, like, K are in a decent position in these yellow buildings. They're going to be able to
Okay, have
away
3 more
inside the circle.
Yeah, they were perfectly fine. They kind of just let one guy go, it looked like. And 69 SWAT will finally leave crates here as the circle starts closing in on them. IK are going to have to do the same very shortly. Ooh, somebody's under fire there in one of those other vehicles.
So that's actually 69 SWAT trying to shoot them with an AWM whilst they're moving in vehicles. And talking about AWMs, there is another one in this crate.
I don't think MBZ are super keen on it, though.
No one's going to really go for that. MEA
There's
are in
MEA
a
by
really
Ruins.
good position, actually, and they do crash into a vehicle.
They just covered a lot of distance quickly. And remember, looking for 3 chicken dinners right now. It looks like SMP are going to start by taking down a couple of members of MBZ. SMP showing up to the fight right now. And Illuminati, that new player in his debut, it looks like he's going to get dropped down. But meanwhile, Kevlos is looking to set this up as bait right now. Do they have the damage to get the downs? They do find Thanos. They do take him out. It's Wasim, tag team playing from MBZ.
Grenades, chucking your grenades.
Just moving forward here. Tense moment with a lot of fire coming up as they try to get the reses. Oh boy, is he going to be able to actually do this here? SMP have to realize this is happening.
Come on.
They're not going for it. They're getting in the car, they pop out. It looks like it's a turnaround. And that's going to be 1 down. Los Kev comes through. He manages to get 1 knock, but unfortunately takes heavy fire and has to move away from the res.
That was next level play coming out from these guys, and now it's going to be 1 person remaining as his teammate's going to bleed out.
That's going to be Los Kev finding the down, but the rest of the members of SMP should be able to light him up. Wait a second! It's going to be Los Kev making the play!
He is an MVP for them by far. What a fantastic
SMP go
player.
out 9th!
Wow, and somehow MBZ clutch into this.
I can't believe it. SMP that looked like they were going to go so good, but they got snapped out of existence for sure. And now Nox in a fight with 963. It turns around as AM come into it. MBZ, they're getting fired on by MEA at this point as well. 963 actually still alive. A couple of members. Maurice is knocked down here. And I think that might actually be Nox down to 1 member.
Yeah, I think it might be. That's not going to be so good for them. But AM now going to be shooting on to 963. And the positioning is actually pretty brutal here for 963. These buildings are very good, but they're very hard to be able to defend, especially with all these open windows on the bottom floor and the top floor. You can shoot from multiple angles, but the fact is they've got to face off against 2 Nox members and 3 members of AM.
And there's the rest of Nox.
963 are not the most well-known team for their shots.
No, they're not, but they certainly are looking a little bit better here with 14 kills. Finding, looks like Ben gets a down on to Lorans, which means there's only 2 healthy members remaining. It's BCL and Abood. And 963, one of those teams that absolutely need to stay alive as long as possible on the bubble. Abood opening up here, but it looks like that was going to be some bait. Ben does get knocked down by Butcher, so the third party coming in, serving 963 here as they go up to the 2nd floor.
Wow, that was so close on his part. I mean, he nearly downed that player, but unfortunately the shots are just not there on his part. So he misses that, but he does survive to live another day.
Now this is actually, it's good for 963 that SMP go out so early, or relatively speaking, because that's one of the other teams that they're facing off against. SMP started this match in 23rd. 963 are in 24th. ME Assassins right behind them.
And also SB as well. I mean, SB going out that early means that they're not going to have to worry as much about the team below them catching up with them. So they're potentially going to be able to secure that. We do see IK, who are in a bit of a danger zone. They do have to be careful not to go out too early, but being in the top 8 does mean they do get some points, so they should be fairly safe. Meanwhile, 69 SWAT still alive and kicking, probably one of the stronger looking teams at the moment. Yeah,
they've got a couple of vehicles as well, just sitting on the edge of the circle, so I feel like at this point 69 SWAT can feel like they can style a little bit because of the way it's played. Butcher with the nade gets the down onto Abood right now, and that means there's only going to be a couple more members remaining. AM looking to push in for the breach. They get Lawrence down, and they can continue to push into this house. AM, this is what they do well.
And this is their play, but there's a... Oh, no, there's actually a couple of teammates coming in.
ECL. He's dropped. That's going to be it. 963 out in 8th.
Wow. Okay, you know what? That's not too bad for them. That's definitely good in regards to being able to push forward. And now we're going to be seeing 69 SWAT push in, and MBZ are there to greet them.
Yeah. Let's see if 69 SWAT can make it happen. MBZ trying to hide out here. But these are just some small bits of cover, and it looks like Los Kev is going to get dropped down. Great split there. Illuminati trying to stay on his feet here, but it's just a numbers game, and he's going to lose the math. Out in 7th place are MBZ Falcons.
Now it's going to be the AWM. He's going to take the shot. Fallacy takes a body shot, loses most of his HP, and now the reload's coming in, and MEA.
Look at that drop. Look at that crate right now for MEA.
they can't actually go for it.
They can't, unfortunately. There's too many players right now, but it really is tantalizing. Now, IK are going to bring Kawan and Rawan around the side
Just
here, actually through the river.
Just keep swimming.
I don't think they're going to be finding Nemo or Dory anytime soon.
You never know. They may well be swimming with the fishes soon enough if they're not careful. But Palestine may well get taken down if he's not careful.
Lashin, he's got the sights on. Oh, doesn't take it, though. No pre-fire either. In the sights, waiting for the headshot, and he gets it! What a beautiful play! Lashin with the knock onto Palestine.
I'm not sure what Palestine was hoping to achieve there. He knew this guy had an AWM. He'd already been hit once, and now he's going to be down out for the count. He is going to have to get picked up by his teammates, which is fine. He can drop down, but this may be the end, actually. He's going to get tagged.
Only 6 teams remaining. Palestine is taken out by Lashin. However, MEA still have 3 healthy members. Remember, they're trying to get as many chicken dinners as they possibly can. They are fighting against the likes of 963, against the likes of SMP, against SB. All those teams are already out, so they can only do better than them to push on and up. But they need more kills. They need better placement to get in a safe space.
Well, we don't all like those safe spaces, but Guns is definitely not one of them that cares for them, and he's going to be taking the peak. He's got level 3 helmet. He's got the Mini 14, one of the preferred weapons, and he's got
like to live dangerously for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. JS have found a nice little spot here by this castle, and they can see quite a bit. The issue is the rest of the ruins are a little bit more obscured when it comes to KA, when it comes to where 69 SWAT are just on the outside of it. And as the circle keeps getting smaller and smaller, there's not going to be a lot of room here. This could very well be a 69 SWAT game, though, the way they're playing.
Oh, no, definitely. They are on fire. When you kill the best team, I mean, you've got to feel good about yourself. They wiped them. It wasn't a competition. They had no issue with killing TRD. And with this circle, IK could be the people who actually do backstab them. JS are also going to be taking shots at them. MEA may well turn around and take a couple more shots back at them as well. All the meanwhile, KA, very... It's an okay position, but the circle is centering onto MEA, so they don't have to move here. All the other teams have to move to them.
Yeah, KA, you know, they may be in 17th place, but there's still potential to get knocked down a little bit further if you don't place so well. You are in the top 6 already, so it is all about that survival, maintaining your position. Here comes AM on a drive-through. Ooh, Mustafa getting headshot by SWAT across the way here. And AM, they lose Molotov in the dropout. B52 and Butcher coming up, but they challenged MEA, and this is one of the most dangerous teams right now. Guns! Where were we looking at him right now?
Oh, my God.
And he's just going to get dropped down and eliminated almost immediately.
And now we are going to have KA joining in the fray, but Wasik is going to get some shots back, and KA Mohammed does
It's a slaughter right now. Yeah. It's an absolute slaughter. MEA do come up ahead, but they do lose a man in the process. So down to 3 right now, and we're going to need to res up. Meanwhile, 69 SWAT just licking their lips and realizing we can sit here as long as we want. And the other 2 IK members are hiding out beyond this hill on this ridge.
They need to snake. They need to snake. If they make any noise, they will be heard. And
they're running for it. Right into the arms of 69 SWAT. This doesn't feel great right now, but they will take up a position.
If they get spotted by 69 SWAT, that's just some 3 points to them. They will wipe IK. There's not really going to be too much competition unless they get some healthy nades in there and to feed a 69 some metal lead.
Now here's Kawan on the front.
Talking about those grenades.
There we go.
Put that grenade away. Oh, no, I don't think that's made it in.
No, and he's just alerted 69 SWAT to his presence at this point.
Hey, we're over here, guys.
Ooh, but somebody else is doing a good job. A couple different teams on the 69 SWAT front. You can see Mustafa took a lot of damage there. I think he got knocked as well. He did by Guns. MEA have turned their sights on them. This might be a chance for IK to steal some kills away.
I think it's more about just generally surviving. Unfortunately, they have been spotted out by
I think
that's JS.
Kawan.
Yeah, it's JS taking a couple of shots at them.
He's
so
in trouble. And Kawan gets dropped down. That's got to be it for IK. 1 knock, 1 player so low. If he runs for it here, he would need to clean house, but he's going to have to run into the blue. And that's IK. Looks like they're going out on that one. So 5th place for the IK members.
Yeah, unfortunately, not the smartest play coming in from the IK members. They do have a lot to learn, like a lot of these teams, but JS at the moment is still alive at the
That's another round. We saw it happen on Vikendi as well. They lasted out into the top 3 here, but MEA, they're still hunting for a 3rd chicken dinner. They could break the record that was set yesterday, or the day before, rather, by TRD. 2 chicken dinners, 2 second place finishes, but they're out 13th here.
Yeah, and so we are going to be seeing the healing up coming out from a couple of these players, the grenades, the smokes.
Is Muhammad still there? That smoke might actually help him.
Yeah, actually protects him from SWATs. That's actually really, really useful, but he is going to be moving up to this crate, which...
Oh, boy.
I think was looted.
Was it a Groza in there?
Yeah, I think it was a Groza, but full level 3 would be useful, but I think it was already looted. I'm not sure. Oh, the grenade goes over. That might do some damage.
Right by the car. Mohamed's going to toss one as well. It's the bounce, and it looks like Wasim is going to get knocked down by one of the teammates. There's 2 more KA members waiting in the wings here. MEA realizing they could be in some real trouble.
Another grenade, that should finish him. Not quite, but it does do half damage to him, so he's going to be bleeding out
Good shots by
fast.
Shaswar and Haji, though.
Yeah, got to give them props. And now 69 SWAT are going to be coming up onto this as well. Captain crashes in.
Crashes is the operative word there. Oh, man. He basically YOLOs into the front right now, looking to knock down a boss. Unfortunately, he's the one who gets taken.
It's not going to look so good because KA are going to be able to come off
Mohamed
the side of 69.
Getting dropped down by 69. SWAT here. Shaswar opening up fire to try and get a little bit of help for his teammates. Mustafa, though, headshot, downed again. And it's absolute chaos in these final 4 teams. Haji getting dropped. Haji getting taken out by Narcos.
And yeah, KA are going to be going out in 4th position.
They tried. They absolutely tried. But KA just not strong enough on those fights. Wasim is going to get a res up from his teammate here. MEA still in this for a 3rd chicken dinner.
Yeah, he's sitting on the wrong side of this pillar, though. He should be sitting on the other side, and it's actually going to be seeing a lot of healing coming out, but 69 SWAT should have this in the bag. Maybe even JS.
Lashin going up to the top level. They're turning around. Get the guns kill. And it's going to be down to 2 MEA members. Wasim taking half his health bar before he gets a few shots onto Narcos. Wasim getting fired down by Atez. And they say you will not get a chicken dinner for the 3rd time in a row. SWAT taking shots onto 69 SWAT on the opposite side. It's always him.
And then Lashin has the AWM. He has no fear at all. They're ignoring the team below them. They're not scared of them.
It's just the boss. He's got to be one of the last members standing here for MEA. In fact, he is the last member standing. JS trying to play a little bit outside. No, still within the circle right now. This might actually favor them. 69 SWAT still have all 4.
69 SWAT should have this in the bag. The
Here comes
circle
Captain.
is in their favor.
He might just use for info. No, he's going to snake it up.
Oh,
Nade's coming out. That's Rip. He's so low right now. Atess also getting fired down. And it's only with 2 teams. They've already taken out MEA in 3rd.
This is just a GG well played here. There's nothing JS can do. They haven't got any advantage here. The shot's coming out and another one's going down.
Yeah, SWAT's making a run for it, but I think there's nothing he can do here as Lashin and the rest of the crew is coming in. That's going to be the end of the match. And 69 SWAT take the victory.
Oh, and they all get 4 kills each. They all wiped a squad technically between them. One impressive play coming out from this team. Managed to collect a massive 16-kill game for themselves, plus 30 points. That's 46 points in total. Only 4 kills behind their counterpart, SWAT 69.
Oh boy, they could actually turn it around, turn the heat on up there for the semifinal round for sure. But I mean, how about JS really coming into their own in the 2nd place, and MEA only getting 5 kills? That sounds like, you know, like they're a pretty solid team, but this was the worst round so far today. Only getting the 5 kills, ending up in 3rd place position. You know, the way they played Ruins was maybe not as best as they could. However, getting to that point, they still looked like one of our strongest teams. And placement-wise, they did a heck of a lot better than the other teams that are near them in the standings.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, they weren't able to play the height area as much as they wanted to do because they had KA and also JS shooting on them and also 69 SWAT. So they had 3 teams all shooting at them. So they weren't able to really take many fights. They decided to take KA, which was a decent option to do. Unfortunately, didn't work out for them.
Yeah, here are the highlights. It all started with SB and AM, and it actually looked like SB were going to be able to come up big, but here was the biggest surprise with TRD losing members early on. Captain just threading the needle on these shots. And 69 SWAT, I think after this, they sort of absorbed TRD's powers to take that win. Back to the AM fight. This is where the SB members start to lose out pretty huge, and this is unfortunate if you are one of those bubble teams.
Yeah, and SB do recover from that situation, but later on they do go down. H-Mode does get a knockdown here, gets the finish, but unfortunately later on he drops down, gets another knock on the guy as he's hiding behind the door, pushes through, knocks him, finishes him, pushes through this door, gets taken down, and back over towards AM. They do get the finish on 2 members here.
Yep, that was Butcher finally coming up huge after he neglected on that nade. Here was 963. They were just unloading fury and fire across the way, and MBZ coming up with Snap. The fight was on them, and it was actually a really good play by Snap, but it didn't look like it was quite enough because that clutch from Los Kev was absolutely insane.
That was just next level. Fair play to him. Got to give it to him. I'm really interested to see the damage there, and also on AM as well. Butcher joining in, getting another kill onto Ben.
Butcher leveled up, man. He had enough XP and just dinged.
Yeah, I mean, they were just downing people over and over again, and finally they got some finishes, and then Lashing with this amazing headshot.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Boom!
Boom! Headshot!
Oh, that was brilliant.
Gotta give it to him. Absolutely brilliant coming in with the
I like how he
AM.
celebrates and just jumps up into the air, immediately gets pegged, and he's like, wait, I got to get into safety. But yeah, 69 SWAT were playing like a team possessed this time around. And you'll see it towards the end here as MEA getting fired on by 3 teams, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I mean, when you get hot dropped by the best team and then you wipe them, you are going to absorb them, and you are going to get pissed off the fact that people have like mistreated you. Like, hey, this is our drop, leave us alone. And when you get that revenge, you're all fired up and you're ready to go. And that's exactly what happened in that
4
game.
kills apiece, man, and you can see it. Every one of them in the top 5. The only player that did better than them was Butcher on AM, and he was definitely the one holding up the end of the AM side. Meanwhile, you see Lawrence from 963 actually coming up with 3 kills, one of the best performances we've seen from the 963 members. Los Kev did a good job for himself too, and a couple more AM members coming up. That was B52 that also got 3 kills.
Really good performance from actually just an average of players, and I think this goes to show that when TRD aren't in the mix, the game is completely different. We saw it last game as well when TRD weren't playing as they normally would. It was completely different, and it happened again this time round. And then let's go for the head-to-head. It's going to be AM versus SNT. Look at that damage.
Yeah. It is unreal. 16 kills to 10. Of course, AM definitely came in and made some huge plays, and that's why you can also see their damage numbers up there. But it was all about the placement at the end of the day, so AM a little bit more reckless. I mean, they do have Madness in their name. I guess it does kind of fit. But 69 SWAT, also known as SNT now, were the champions, clutching it out on this Erangel match. There'll be one more, of course, after this. But I want to see how the players break down, because SNT, as you mentioned, everybody pulled their weight.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that they managed to do that, and AM get half the match points in the end, or just under half the match points, rather, from SNT, and standards were definitely not that great. Kills as well, they got 6 less.
But AM were already kind of pretty up on the scoreboard, but I guess so were SNT when you look at it. So let's start by doing the comparison here. Quiet had a very quiet round himself, because he was picked off relatively early in the AM side, and then, of course, Lashin.
Yeah, I mean, he downed 1 person, got finished off, and that was it. And AM were down to 3 people, and they eventually wipe out SB. But Lashin, he did fairly good. He had that AWP, got the knock, and then we move on to Mustafa, who, yeah, got 4 kills, as they all did. He gets 1 headshot.
A little less damage than his teammates, but still, that's a respectable amount. Molotov gets a couple kills himself, but he actually only does 152 damage, which means he was actually doing a bit of cleanup on the AM side. And I think we saw that earlier when he was going for a couple of breaches. He usually finished off the down members. Next, head-to-head comes in. This is Butcher. He's the one who's hard carrying for AM this time around. He gets 5 kills. He was the MVP for his team of the match. Also 869 damage. That is a heaping helping compared to the team total. And then Captain on the other side, another one, just pulled his weight along with the rest of the boys. Yeah,
I mean, it's around the same mark. It's between, I think, going to be between 500 to 700 damage for each one of these members, maybe 800 on one of them. But, I mean, you got to give it to them. They showed consistency through this one, and also that fire was really burning in their stomachs. And then we move on to the final one here. We do have 672 damage sitting on B52. And he did knock a lot of players.
He did. This was really like SB. He knocked them repeatedly, and he was waiting for Butcher to go in and finish the job. But in that early fight is where he picked up a lot of the damage. Gets 3 of the kills as well in some of those final fights. Narcos coming in does 504. Definitely a respectable number. Everybody on 69 SWAT pulled their weight and then some. And this is why they get the chicken dinner. Well earned for them.
Definitely. And I mean, we've been kind of waiting for 69 SWAT to do something amazing.
After that Miramar match, we were wondering when they were going to see like a big standout performance, and this was it.
Yeah, they were kind of just like walking along, not really doing anything fantastic. But then we see them do really well on here. And if you want to see what they did back on that day, the fateful day of the second day of the first week, you can take a look on the standings.
Absolutely. And where do you go to the standings? You check out our website at clubopen.pubgmobile.com for all the information up to date, including on the standings. And, of course, to see who's going to be qualifying onto the semifinal round, which will be right after this. We will have only one more Erangel map before we see who the top 24 are. And in addition, you can, of course, catch all the action live for this region and all the others in the PUBG Mobile Club Open over at youtube.com/ I think it's youtube.com/PUBG Mobile Esports. That's the one. Yay. Don't forget to smash that subscription button. And, of course, as Tom always likes to say,
ding dong that notification bell.
So you don't want to miss a minute of the action. But we have only got one more
game
to play, and we got to take a quick break before we go there. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with the last game of the group stages here at the PMCO 2019. We'll be watching. I hope you will too.
Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
Play PUBG Mobile for free.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to the PMCO 2019. I am Devin Pyrotechnics Young. This fine gentleman is, of course, Tom Pickering, but he is better known to his friends as We Free Men.
It's nice because he's indicating I actually have friends, so I'll take it. Thank you very much.
You've got
Mr.
one
Devin.
after these last 2 weeks, man. I'll be your friend for sure. I'll also be your co-caster because it has been a wild ride. We are down to it. This is it for the group stages.
Oh, man.
One more map on Erangel, and for some of our teams,
Ooh.
it is a matter of tournament, life, and death.
It's tight.
This is
It's
going to
so
be huge.
tight.
I mean, and MEA have been coming out clutch right now. They got a third-place finish, double chicken dinners. They
Yep.
should be well within the safety range at this point, but anything is possible. Let's take a look at our standings. TRD, they go on 13th place, but they still have 320 points, so it's perfectly fine. They've got one more to play to get into 350, which would be insane.
But look at this. So 69 SWAT, a.k.a. SNT, make it into 4th place.
They actually could pass Light Pirates here.
Insane. Yeah, well, I'd be surprised if they don't after that last performance.
And look at this, MBZ Falcons, 1 point off Executor. All they have to do is load in.
They could definitely do this.
Yeah, pretty easy, I think.
I mean,
AM also in 7th place. They've climbed back up.
But I mean,
They passed Kurd Squad.
Yeah, I mean, MBZ, AM, this is insane. That they could do this so easily just by being able to play this. They could make it up above Executors, like you're saying, the AXT, and they could try
The best
and
part
overtake
about this,
SNT.
S&T can actually dodge TRD by getting those additional points, because if they go into the 3rd place position, they'll be placed as the first team in the 3rd group. We didn't talk about this earlier, but the reseeding, the way it works, it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But let's talk about the other teams in the other spots. Nox make their way into 9th position. They've been slowly creeping it up. And KA Squad in 15th now. The rest of these teams all played their games yesterday, so this is going to be pretty interesting. KA Squad 15th, not too bad for them, but they have a chance to move further up the standings.
Look at the points, 155, 153, 153 on those.
Actually tied with
three teams.
HeadHunterr right now.
That's an interesting one. But at the very top, though, we have Nox, who managed to get into
Just
9th position.
one above
1
LTK.
point above, and very close to being able to make it into the top 8 as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And then moving down the leaderboard any moment, we will be able to see
This
the
is where it gets real spicy. Drum roll, please. And we see the ME Assassins have edged their way into the 24th position. 963 are keeping them a hair's breadth away. 99 points to 95 in the 23rd. The SMP rocking 100, just barely above that. RBK as well. These 4 teams so close together. You can see Just Survive have put some distance between them and the rest. iKurdTeam's done the same based on their performance. But this means that pretty much SB are the outside looking in, and there should be one other team that's still trying to climb their way in.
I'm actually fairly certain that unless MEA go out at the very start, it's very unlikely that SB are going to be able to overtake them. And SB are pretty much the only team that will be able to contend against them and knocking them below. I think, like you said, there might be one other team, but I can't quite remember their name. Let's have a look. VW. No. So
VW aren't even playing today, so they're knocked out officially.
SW have to get, I think, at least 30 points around that. It's about 22 points to be able to match up.
They need to keep above them by that much. So they actually need to drop. They need to hot drop pretty much onto MEA and take them out.
If MEA go out straight away with 0 points, 0 kills, all SB needs to do is get 21 points. And I say all, that is a lot, considering that's nearly a, well, yeah, 1/4 of their points. So that's insane.
Now, so ViaWar and TUB, they're both knocked out of this one because they're not playing anymore, which means they won't have any more chances to get back into this. So, press F to pay respects to those teams. The rest of them,
well played.
Honestly, no teams that have really had loaded in. So in the semifinal round, we'll see things get a lot tighter. We'll probably see all 16 squads loading in, which we haven't, unfortunately, for our region up until this point. And this last round on Erangel is going to be very tight.
Yeah, it's going to get pretty interesting. Like I said, SB are going to have to play very well. And if they can do, and if MEA play very unlucky, it's pretty much the luck of the draw.
We're going to have to watch that drop.
Because you know what? TRD have been messing around because they don't care what happens at this point because they've got first place. No other team can actually catch up with them at
They
this
can be
point.
kingmakers, actually. They can just have some fun with it.
Yeah, unless a team manages to get first place and pretty much all the kills, they can't get overtaken. This is pretty insane.
Well, the issue is AM was the only team that realistically could do that, and AM actually had a couple of low-placing rounds, so they shouldn't be able to anymore. I believe it's not mathematically possible.
I don't think it is.
Does AM have... What do we...
They'd have to get 60 kills plus first place to get 90 points.
Out of like a... Usually,
no, it's not possible.
Yeah, it's not because there's not going to be enough players loaded in the game. So, yeah.
GG, well played.
First place
TRD.
guaranteed for TRD. Good stuff.
Hey.
Honestly, after the way they played the first couple of rounds, I like it very much. I think this was kind of preordained. We'll see. Their group is going to be terrifying. 7 Reef team pretty much locked into second place. And they had a bad couple of rounds yesterday, but they're still a scary squad to contend with, and they have a week to really take a step back, recalibrate a little bit, realize, okay, maybe we went a little bit too ham in that last one, but also some of these teams that are really fighting for it, really down in those like 23rd, 24th positions, trying to stay on the edge, stay up ahead of the competition. That's where it's going to get real tough.
And sometimes edging isn't the answer, Devin. You have to be careful and make sure you actually play a little bit aggressive sometimes and just release a little bit earlier. So we're going to have to see what happens with these guys. There's a little bit of an aggression coming out from a couple of them, like you might see from 69 SWATs or SNT as they're well known. So let's see if they can carry it through into this next game. But in the meantime, if you want to see what we just talked about, there's a website you can check out all the standings. And if you want to preordain, sort of check out what teams are going into the next round, have a look.
Yep, you can go ahead and head to the website at the bottom of your screen. It is clubopen.pubgmobile.com for all that information and more up-to-the-minute standings. And not just for the MEA region, you can find it for all of the teams competing at the PUBG Mobile Club Open. And in addition, you also want to get all the live streams, all access set, including some highlights, which of course you always want to watch, especially that headshot on Falastine earlier today. You can head to our YouTube channel, is youtube.com/PUBGMobile Esports. Don't forget to smash that subscription button. And as Tom always likes to say, ding dong, that subscription or that notification bell. Man, I messed up when I tried it.
And he stole it from me.
I did.
Ding dong, then notification bell. There you go. Just had to do it. It felt wrong that he messed it up, and I had to,
Well,
bring
the shame bell on me for sure. But
ding dong.
we will see who will be our final 24 teams after this round. It's been a long couple of weeks. Very tough fights. Definitely some up and down stories for MEA, for instance. It's been a big redemption story as this team did lose all of their points due to one of their players not using an approved device. They come back in. They get a double chicken dinner now, back into the action. And man, if they look good, they clearly want this. And they're coming back into round 2.
I mean, you have to want it to be able to actually return after losing all your points. So literally, they potentially might make it into the semifinals on the back of 4 games.
And everything will reset at this point, so it really doesn't matter anymore. And we are finally on to our final match of the group stages. On to Erangel we go once again. Planes coming in from the northeast all the way down southwest to Primorsk. And let's see where the TRD are dropping.
Let's get into the game. So Yasna is going to be the first drop potentially for these guys to be able to go into. Then it's going to be on to Score, then Pachinki after that, and then Quarry, and then Primorsk is going to be the final area for the drop-off point for the plane, and then we could have a few plays.
A million words per minute.
Million words at a point.
Yasnaya is where it's going to be. And MEA actually dropped not too far away. They're going on up to Kameshki again. The rest of the team saying, we don't want anything to do with that. We're going to Pachinki where it's safe.
MEA are just like, where's the one place we could drop that? TRD
no one else will ever be.
TRD are just not going to find us.
Honestly, they got to hope it's an Eastern Circle right now. Otherwise, they're going to have to run into TRD.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Actually, you know what? I do hope it's a Stalwart, because that's probably one part of the map we've definitely not seen. We have seen sort of Georgeville, not on the northern side of it, but definitely on the southern side and over towards Primorsk as well.
No one's dropped Military Island in either round so far, so this is kind of interesting.
There's not really the right teams that
it's always LPI
there.
that like to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, and also, LP and also I think IK previously, so I am surprised actually they don't on this one. SMB have done in the past, but seems like they're going in for the Bloodfest into Pachinki.
Okay, and MBZ. And we got another Western Circle right now, so it's going to be a long distance for MEA to track. TRD immediately start moving as they see that one come in, but most of the teams well within the zone right now. A couple are going to be heading up to Gatka. You can see Lashin from 69 SWAT doing just that, but we'll take a look at our first couple of fights. There's a lot of teams here right now. It's AM, it's SB, it's SMP, it's Nox, it's IK, and it's Chaos here.
Well, let's have a look on here from the chopper down into Pachinki. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 teams in Pachinki. IK Kramak is going to go down first.
Can you give me a little weather report there for Pachinki, Tom?
Weather report coming in. It's going to be a little bit stormy with a bit of hail coming in from the northern side, and it's going to be SMP. In the
it's raining bullets. That's what's happening right now. Galiko is going to find the down, looking for some finishing shots, and we got ourselves a shotgun. It's just absolute nuts here on Pachinki.
I think that guy's flag is from Australia, if I'm right in saying, which is a bit of an odd one, but I think that might well be true. But Kramak is going to be the first one to go down. Good day, mate. What's going on? A little bit of a shrimp on the barbie.
I know they don't actually say that.
I know, they absolutely hate people who do, especially because they don't fry those shrimpies. So we will see what goes on, but this is going to be such a bloodbath. Devin, I am... Or Byra, might as well say it as well. But,
either one's good.
Either one is good enough, but what do you think? Who's going to come out top of it? Place your bet.
You know, I honestly think Nox are the much better team in this urban warfare situation out of just about everybody. Maybe AM based on how they played last round, but I'm honestly going to give this one to Nox because of the way they tend to play.
Ooh, I think I'm going to go with AM just purely down to their experience in this area, and they did manage to dominate it last time. Well, not dominate it, win it. So let's see what goes down.
SMP opening fire right now. It's going to be see if they gets knocked down by Galiko. Nox already starting. You can see AM are biding their time, though. SP actually quite far out here. Galiko does get dropped down by Codex, and Ben, he turns it around onto Kramak.
Kramak was down, then I think he's going to be going out. And SB actually loaded into this with only 3 players. So
yeah, it's not a good start for a team that desperately needs to, basically top the charts to make it in to the semifinals. SMP caught in the middle of it all.
Semifinals being the key word here as well. Let's have a look at the replay here. Galacco going to be able to push in. It takes a shot over towards Sharif, and he's going to be able to down him pretty easy as well.
That was nicely done, actually. Really good. And again, this is why I talk about how good Nox are in urban areas. They just know where to look. They know where to peek. They do get downed a lot because they are a very aggressive team, but they do well with downed members, which is not something we can say for most of these squads.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing with only 3 players or even 2, it's going to get very difficult. There are a couple of teams that do that.
Just Amber out of here. Butcher's staying around, though. He's like, it's okay, guys. I got this.
They didn't actually get much loot, and unfortunately, that's what tends to happen when you have a lot of teams dropping in. And
speaking of dropping,
seems like you might be right with the Nox call, actually.
Yeah, Galiko's going for it. I mean, I'm telling you, man, these guys just know their urban warfare. We saw them play on military a couple weeks back. It looked insane. That being said, I might have spoken too soon here as Thanos snaps his fingers. and deletes half of Nox.
That is not going to be good news for them at all, and we're going to be seeing a couple of them run away. I mean, Dr. Aluzo going to be joining at Morzy as Morzy actually jumps away with his deadly weapon. It's going to be the FDSS, but...
All right, looks like I was pretty wrong about that. I mean, we'll see what happens as there's 2 remaining members of Nox, but I do not think they were expecting Thanos to be up on that 2nd floor.
Yeah, so it's pretty difficult to be able to sort of detect where people are on this, even if you do drop in early, because it's so chaotic, and you're trying to keep track of 3 other teams.
This is the first like crazy fight we've seen on any of our maps today, except maybe that one on Sanhok earlier on that was across the river, but that was much more controlled. This is complete chaos on Pachinki.
I mean, Chaos Pachinki is sometimes the best option, especially in, yeah, I mean, Pachinki is definitely the most chaotic area. Sometimes there's a couple of other points.
I'm surprised TRD didn't drop it, but they've just got Yasnaya. There's nobody here. I think they were kind of disappointed.
Yeah, they're like, hang on a minute, what's going on? I mean, it would have been fantastic to actually see them over towards that Pachinki area, but it didn't happen. MBZ are down in Primorsk, though, so they're going to be fairly safe into the next circle, too.
Back to this fight. Ooh, the drop down. Here's Thanos. He's still hunting for Dr. Aluz, but he gets found out. That's going to be the down. Good spray. However, there's an instant revenge here from Seif, and that is not the end of Nox, but they've got 1 player remaining, and they're going to have to play for positioning, you got to think.
Yeah, I mean, position is going to be everything into this next fight, because SB have got the numbers, they've got the health, and they actually managed to get a decent amount of loot. The buildings they picked to loot actually are pretty healthy in the amount of items they have in it. Plus, they haven't really been in any other fights so far in Pachinki, so they are pretty much fresh-faced. So
That they are.
yeah, got to give them props. In RBK, going to be in Rozhok at the moment, looking to be able to loot up and then go into the fights, going further forward, but they should be fairly safe into what they're doing. They are inside the circles. They are fine at the moment. Same with 963, playing a little bit safe in Gatka, which is almost center or close to center of this next circle, which is good for these guys. You know, got to give them props, and they got to stay ahead because SB could try and catch up. If they wipe a couple of these teams like Snap and maybe even AM, if they catch up with them, then SB could be trying to catch up. And
Tall order for SB, though, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, MEA are currently playing safe, so I think it's going to be very difficult for them to be able to get into the top 24 here.
Well, the SMP are also going to be moving on up a little bit because remember they're only 4 points back onto RBK and they picked up a couple of frags. That's definitely going to help. The best part about this is all of their members, I think, stayed alive in all of those fights, and looks like I might have spoken a bit too soon. That is one of the eliminations. Thanos on the outside here. Not going to be able to get his teammate back up. They do have 3 kills on that team. Good start here for them on Pachinki, but SB are pushing forward, looking to change their fortunes.
From the outside, looking in, and hopefully that's not going to be down and out for the count, because they really need to be able to try and stay in this one. It's not...
Here's Mofi.
It's not be-all and be-end-all, but, you know...
AM have just not pushed at all. It's going to be another move around by Thanos. Unfortunately, he spotted out this time. He's going to try to... Oh, I was going to say duck and dive and dodge, but unfortunately
Codex
all of
is
SMP,
nowhere.
except for Codex, are crawling on their knees. So he's going to be the last member standing here for SMP. And this is looking great for SB to try and break into this one. Remember, they're the 26th position. They need to make up some points.
That's 3 out of the 21 points they need minimum to match MEA on their points. So if they carry on in this form, we could actually see them doing what I said, which... is very difficult. They didn't knock out the team, but they did get those kills, so
no, that's
it's
the thing.
a start.
And they're going to have to do it, too, because, again, it's if RBK, who are way the heck out there, go down, if SMP go down, 963 go down, or ME Assassins go down, that's the chance for SB to push their way in. But as you mentioned, they also need to make up a heaping helping of points. So they need to hope at least one of those teams drop early. And you can tell 963 are not keen to give up their position. They are way out in Gatka, not giving up anything.
And this is actually an area we saw 46 loot yesterday, who were the underdogs, who performed.
Who got 2 chicken dinners, too.
Yeah, and
those guys leveled up massively.
That's crazy. And this is one of the areas where they actually managed to perform. So maybe they can take in some of that energy and really perform themselves today in this area. Although they're playing a little bit weird here, out in the open, just running around, having a little bit of a
There's
good
nobody
time.
there, I guess. But, yeah, you got to think if anybody starts taking shots at you, then your fortunes change pretty quickly. JS have a couple of cars for themselves. They've done a great job today actually staying alive. TRD are going to be moving in 2 cars away from Yasnaya as this next circle will soon be coming in here. But right now, the safest place to be is probably Georgia Pool because that's where 69 SWAT are. MEA up in the top. Safest place for them, anyway.
I was going to say, what's the safest place for other teams? Probably not, because 6-9 SWAT have been playing fantastically.
They've been pretty dangerous.
So
MBZ are actually quite towards the south here. They'll take up placement on Quarry, but they will need to go up. And wouldn't you know it, Tom, we've got ourselves a Georgia Pool circle.
this is interesting because there's still one other circle before it goes in for the hard shift.
So much water here for Erangel. That's quite rare.
Yeah, so just to mention, guys, so on the fourth circle, the circle hard shifts onto land. It tries its best to try and get 100% of the circle in land.
I don't know if it can do.
yeah, that's the thing. So there is a chance that it's probably actually going to shift very central to the east, and that actually means there's going to be still a lot of the northern side. We could actually see the shift onto the northern side of the circle. That's still a possibility. The calculations that I've just done in my head with my magical caster brain means that I'm fairly certain that it can actually still land on the northern side.
Magical caster brain.
I don't know. You need to get at least 1,000 hours in PUBG and you'll be fine.
Man, I'm $9.99.
$9.99. Well,
so close.
That's a rip. But you know what else could be a rip? Codex. He's
last member standing from SMP. Maurice as well is going to be the same for his squad. Nox right there. Big losing out. And ooh, SB getting one member dropped. It's AM finally taking position, starting to fire down. And this is looking like the last round. SB are in some trouble. B52 opens up and sprays on top of him. Meanwhile, Butcher waiting in the wings here to clean them up. And this is going to be bad. SB, they need to stay alive, but they're getting dropped down. I think that's the elimination.
Oh, no.
That might be it for SB. There's no chance for them anymore.
No, MEA are confirmed. They're in.
That's it.
That's it.
And that's actually the only bubble team that could still make it through. So at this point, for MEA, 963 and SMP, and RBK as well, they're just playing for placement.
We know the teams going through, but we don't know exactly where each one of the teams are going to be playing, apart from TRD, which will be in Group 1. And also 70, I mean, they have got the chance, I think, if we have a look at the standings here. So, we will
Gotta be moving up to the top for sure.
Yeah, let's pop on over to the top. So we're just doing a little bit of a look here. So 70, they actually have 250 points. So it is actually possible for them to...
SNT could...
Yeah, theoretically.
SNT could move up a couple of spots. Honestly, taking either of these spots away would be fine because you get to dodge the real deal for some of your games. Remember, if you're in the same group, you'll play against that same team all of the time, but not if you're in the other group where you only play some of the time. We'll get into the weeds with that a little bit later because we're back into the fights here. RBK facing down against 69 SWAT, or the SNT, who will be watching for the rest of the match to see if they can get them way into the top position.
Yeah, no, I really do hope they do take over Light Pirates just because of the way, well, if they play very well. I obviously love the Dancing Pirates.
You guys are favorite team, man.
I'm not biased, leave me alone. But they dance, so they are my favorite.
They can dance if they want to.
Oh, look at Nox.
Yeah, Morrissey's out there. He's just, yep, you know what? I'm going to play for positioning. Nox are currently sitting in 9th place right now, so the more points they can accumulate to just move on a little bit further up, the better.
Yeah, I mean, well, ideally, 9th place is actually quite optimal for them because it means they would end up in the 3rd group, if I'm right saying.
I think you're right. But even number 8 is actually fine right now.
Yeah.
And AM are still alive in this one, too, so you got to think they'll be pushing deeper on the up and up and getting into the, looking to contest MBZ Falcons position. There's only 1 point separating those two. Speaking of which, MBZ Falcons are going to find IK. Ooh, UT Script goes down pretty quickly. In fact, so does UT Boom. IK managing to get 2 downs here, and they may have a chance to actually overtake them.
Yeah, and Bard are trying to take on these shots, and he has got the angle.
Los Kev is not about to push in here.
He is a better player.
There it goes. Unfortunately, Bard does take a little bit of damage, so this isn't an even firefight anymore. Script and Los Kev are coming in. Or Kev Los, rather.
1v1, and he might well just go in for the revive here.
Made bounce.
And Bard is backing away. He doesn't want to dare out this
He's going to get Rowan back up. It's only 2 members of IK. Remember, they took a lot of damage earlier on. But that's 3 down members of MBZ, so only Los Kev is actually healthy right now. And Codex is driving right to the edge. Into the zone as he was in the blue. He's got himself a nice Jeep, but one of those teams only having 1 player remaining, just playing for positioning.
Yeah, he was trying to get outside the danger zone. He has actually managed to do it, so fair play to him. He's able to do that, and now he's going to be able to try and get his team a higher placement, which is what he wants to do. A little bit of pride here, because there is no money prizes at the moment, because that will come in later on.
They got up all their teammates here, so IK really indecisiveness, or at least slowed it down a little bit, allowed them to get the res up. The nades are starting to come out here, and all of a sudden this fight's not looking so good for the IK members.
Yeah, I mean, the IK members had a really difficult time in Pachinki, and unfortunately they bump heads with MBZ, who've been playing really well so far.
Really aggressively.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's your Northern Circle.
The Northern Circle coming in. I called it, guys.
A fight between TRD and MEA here.
My calculations can sometimes be right. But we'll see which teams can actually do this. So the next circle should shift quite hard north as well, but there's a potential for it just to go center as well. So Rowan is going to be able to stay alive, but he's going to get damaged by the circle. And his vest is almost broken as well. He's not got too many meds. He has got 4 first aid kits. That's fairly good. But
MBZ are going to leave him to it.
Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't really bother with this. Look, a couple of them are low on HP. They have to chase the circle. And now we're going to be seeing AM as well try to follow up on that same sort of path, going through.
One car, too.
Yeah, they're right next to the hospital. They're not inside the circles. They're going to have to cross over. And we are going to be seeing SNT versus TRD once again.
This is going to be spicy for sure. And MEA are actually in the mix as well, so they all start finding each other. Even KA wants to get involved. And Narco's actually getting dropped down by HeadHunterr. Man, what was that shot? He was on the opposite side.
That was fantastic.
We got to see that in a replay. Come on.
He wasn't on the opposite side. He's actually on their side alone.
Oh, he's flanking.
He was alone by himself. But now the other team members are going to come in, and I think 6ix9ine SWAT are going to be a little bit confused as to where the other team members are going to be flanking from. So this is going to be everything to play for. But in the meantime, there is KA on one side, and then there's another team on the other. So this is going to be very dangerous.
Yeah, it certainly is.
MBZ lose a player to the blue.
Yeah, as they were trying to drive away here. AM even going to cross the bridge, so it looks like we are all about Georgia.
Oh, no, this is going to be, there's going to be about 6 or 7 teams in close proximity in North Georgia.
Well, there's still 12 alive. There's still 40 players still in this game at 15 minutes right now. You got to think it's about to change. Yeah, AM, everybody's buying up property on Georgia Pool. It's the place to be.
Unfortunately, may well be some of them poaching graves and pushing up the daisies very soon. And
Muhammad, he's seeing if he can get a sneaky shot off before they take up position, but circle will shrink down. We'll see what the next one is. Will it be urban? Will we be out in the open?
well, we will see, and it's actually going to be...
boy, oh boy.
It's that river circle. You called it. There we go. Crates. And Crates is actually a really bad area for people to play. On the other side, it's fairly decent.
Yeah, I think TRD might be getting some flashbacks after that last game.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for them, they're probably not going to be able to get across there. It's going to be very difficult. This house is actually fairly decent for people. The Wizard Tower is actually fairly decent for people to play. We do see MBZ. They're split up here. I think jumps out of the vehicles.
From the top of the tower, the Saruman sees all. Maybe not quite as much as he would like, though. All these teams pretty hidden.
Yeah, and I mean, MBZ are actually in a pretty healthy position. You may not think that, but that hillside actually allows them to walk down into sort of ridge lines in a potentially a healthy position. Meanwhile, we have RBK.
Where Codex is. He's got a nice little hidey spot.
Yeah, and I mean, RBK might be able to spot him out, and they are in a decent position, but they are going to have to move themselves, and there's an AWP, but it's not going to get picked up. There's just no chance. Well, you know what?
I mean, JS are there, but JS are a very cautious team, right? They tend to not go out in the open. AM taking a drive. Speaking of cautious, they are not. SNT going to go for it. And we've got some car plays here. Hackshot and the rest of the TRD boys are coming on in. Quiet's going to hop out as well as the rest of the squad in the cop car just behind. I think TRD
look at
a couple of cop stars. HeadHunterr!
He's being spotted, I think.
Yeah, he's in trouble right now, but the rest of the team is still threatening.
He could do one nade and one kill, but...
Look at Mustafa, he's starting to wrap around too. This is really interesting as the teams scramble to the last edges here of Georgia Pool.
I'm not quite sure what HeadHunterr was doing. He could have chucked a nade there and done a lot of damage. KA going to lose a member to the blue. What's going on?
Just driving through. Looking for even more right now, and MEA are just going right on by. It's crazy. These teams just love to stay in the urban centers as long as they possibly can. RBK taking up residence here just under the troll bridge.
That's actually a decent position going through because they may well be able to stay in a little bit longer, but they are going to have to then push, and they're going to be exposed either way. So it's going to be difficult. And
we got to go back to that fight. Mustafa gets headshot back onto his knees right now. It's just happening on the outside of vision.
MEA joining in with the fight here.
Oh, Guns gets dropped by Lashin. Here we go. It's absolute craziness as SNT go in for MEA. And heaps of them on their knees, but Falastine standing tall means that MEA will be able to wipe SNT out.
Wow. In 12th position. So TRD are not going to be able to get their revenge yet, but they may well do next week. Meanwhile, AM going to be facing off, and Codex just dancing away in the open, actually.
And what can you do at this point? Finding himself, I mean, he's got a little bit of cover. He's behind the tower.
But he could potentially get found by RBK. But meanwhile, B52 gets knocked down. Headshot coming in from the TRD guys.
Imagine if SMT just managed to stay alive that long. HeadHunterr getting the drop on to B52. Good headshot from him. And, man, it looked like he was found out, but they have managed to turn on the AM members. And this is why TRD are so strong. That last game, call it a fluke if you like. SMT no longer there to really wreck their day. And HeadHunterr will finally reunite with his team.
Yep.
Kevin, nades out.
Don't think that grenade's going to be able to do too much. It was a really good nade into it, but...
Hackshot's dropped. So that's pretty good there for AM. Can they do a little bit more there?
Oh.
It's coming out, Hackshot. Very low health here. Quiet, Kevin moving around. HeadHunterr going to rejoin. Who's breaching through the smoke. Quiet doesn't see him! And he's going to get dropped down. HeadHunterr, though, unfortunately, on the opposite side for him, he gets taken out by Butcher. It's all on Molotov and Butcher from the AM side. And for TRD, it's down to Kevin and Zero, but HeadHunterr climbing over to Zero to get the res up.
Oh, this is not looking so good here for these guys. TRD have to be a little bit more
careful. Look at this next
The last snap member's still in it. Man, that's got to feel good. He's just going to keep dancing.
Just YOLO for him in that point of view, but I think he's going to get charged in a moment by MEA.
What's happening to KA, man? They just keep getting dropped by random members.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange for their side, but TRD going to have difficulty time. And now Codex could actually ruin a couple of people's games.
If he sees the RBK members, because they will have to move out from under bridge soon.
Yeah, unfortunately, he has moved inside this building, which means he's going to have a more difficult time.
If they run out into the open, RBK are in trouble.
RBK just need to wait there, actually. They don't need to try and push in too hard, and KA, meanwhile, trying to push and getting punished for it.
Yeah, there's still 3 members up. A couple of them climbing around, though, and MEA going to be pushing into JS's territory here. Remember, MEA, they were fighting for the positioning. They should be well and able to take it now.
Oh!
Mehmet! Oh, that damage.
That was a headshot and a half, and now he's going to be very low. A couple of grenades could finish them.
Yeah, now SWAT has managed to see that there's somebody in the tower. Doesn't know if it's
TRD.
Codex for sure. TRD moving up through the river here.
Nades.
Nades just coming left and right, constantly. Samurai going to get dropped down by Abbas from MEA into the smoke. And Rowan's swimming, but I don't think TRD see him.
He's drowning. He has to breathe. Oh, he has done. He's managed to catch a breath. But will he be able to catch a break? That's going to be the real question. K, drop into the water too.
Yeah, MEA and JS, it's a 4v4 inside the house right now. And it looks like it's opening up. 963 and managed to get a RBK member down in all the chaos, but it's Abbas with a nade getting Mehmet down. H-mode knocked as well.
Oh, Codex doing
He's still
some
in
beautiful
this.
work. He needs to push now.
Oh, he's taking down H-mode.
Yeah, he got the frag. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy for him. But now we're going to have some shots coming in from, I think, from MBZ maybe.
Yeah, MEA are out the window. They're working on KA's members. Meanwhile, JS as a test is going to be taking down Los Kev. Everybody trying to third party this fight for the time being. It's a temporary alliance inside the house between MEA and JS.
8 members alive in a single building. What is this? That is not allowed.
Yeah, they're just not letting anybody get in here for right now. MBZ are starting to drop real low as they're just on the outside, but it looks like EUT Script is going to be the one still remaining.
MEA actually stole that kill because JS knocked him, and then MEA stole the kill. That was pretty good play coming from them.
Down to 9 teams.
Abbas actually moves out that building. That's pretty good. Script is actually still alive on the MBZ team, but he is actually probably the worst member on their team, I'd have to say. Let's see what he can actually pull off.
Looking to peek out. Looks like UT Boom does get taken down by guns. Meanwhile, MEA not keen to push up here because they know all the JS members are sitting on the second floor.
Oh, look at that car.
Parked inside.
They can't get up to the members.
Oh, no. Codex is gone. Out in 9th.
That Archer is blocking the stairway. They can't get to JS. JS are perfectly fine.
No way.
That is amazing. I've never seen that before, ever. That is absolutely nuts. JS are perfectly safe apart from nades in this situation and long-distance shots. This is
this is why there's a temporary alliance, because neither team can take each other out. And by the way, TRD just keeps swimming.
Oh no, AM could actually come up onto the rocks and take them out.
Molotov. He's not going for it just yet. Ooh, Zero Hicks, you must have seen it.
They've seen them.
Still have 3 members here. Remember, only Hackshot went down in that earlier engage.
Yeah, they were slightly split up there as a member on their team a little bit further back.
Abbas is further out.
Yeah.
Is he going to look for script, though? That's the question. Here's HicksU.
HicksU has
takes shots on a Molotov and Butcher. Oh, he drops down.
Oh, that was a bit of a fail, but he's going to be able to get back up. He has to be careful because JS will take shots and they can take him on.
He's trying to cover for his teammates.
Oh, look at this. So Zero has crossed the river as
well. On 963 is going to get taken out. So is Lawrence. 963 starting to lose a lot of members here. Molotov just dies environmentally, it looks like. Zero takes him out at at the end of the day. And they've managed to make the beach.
Yeah, and they've actually got full advantage over the members of AM who have to try and cross. But 963 just not having a luck a day.
RBK spraying down into the 963 members. Looks like there's one left alive. It's Abood. Zero. Onto Butcher. He's just lighting that water up. He's the only one, too.
He's either going to drown or they're going to finish him. He has one of 2 options right now.
Deny the points. Deny the points seems to be what he's opting for. You'll never take me alive.
No, he goes for the breath. He gets it as well, so he's going to get away with this. This will have to change eventually. And look at
the fight. It looks like JS decided they wanted to take it downstairs, but MEA said that's just fine. This is our territory, so now it's a 4-on-3.
That was a mistake. There was no reason to go in for that aggression.
Boot drops. That's 8th place now for 963. Butcher's still swimming. How is he doing this?
He's drowning now. He's drowning. He gets a breath. No. Has he eventually?
Zero's still trying to sights on him, but he's got to worry about RBK.
He's drowning. I think he's only got a couple of seconds left. Oh, he gets the breath. There's a vehicle in the water there. That's a bot. Zero.
Oh, they finish off Butcher. That's going to be the end of AM. They're out in 7th place, but they did make it a little frustrating there for the TRD members. Meanwhile, MEA still holding out on this first floor while the 3 remaining members of JS are on the second, and the roof, rather.
they're still roaring somehow from IK is
Look at
alive.
this. Their circle's certainly working out, but the next one's certainly going to change things here. Nade comes out on one of the RBK members.
IK is the last remaining member from Pochinki.
Yeah, he's the only survivor. RBK looking to rejoin each other.
And they were left that town very much damaged.
HeadHunterr Kevin 0.
Yeah, 0 looted up a little bit. RBK going to be taking some shots on here, but Grenade's going to be coming through.
Rowan still swimming, just outside the blue.
TRD want to be able to get that 350 mark.
Gets downed. Oh boy, 50 seconds till we get the next shrink down. There's the next circle.
Ooh.
It's still inside the house.
This is going to be JS or MEA, or maybe even US Script. Who knows? At
Otherwise,
this
no.
point.
Yeah, no, it is. It's still inside the house right now.
That
This is
grenade was
insane.
really good, but unfortunately, it's not going to land on anyone.
And just in the garage. They're away from it as well. RBK getting down by 0.
Some shots coming in from RBK's last member here, but he's going to be on the outside.
One
more
shot,
shots!
and that's it. RBK, they're down in the 6th place.
Look at last member on IK. He's right behind them. He could do what
Oh,
happened
look at
last
Rowan.
time to UN. We saw an Erangel on the first day
Trying
this
to clutch
week.
it out.
Yeah. Oh, Palestine is going to be moving the vehicle slightly. They need to move out front.
This is what happens when you try to parallel park, man.
Oh, Kevin taking a couple of shots here. This
Nades up.
is actually going to be fairly interesting end. They have to cross over, and I don't know how many smokes they've got. They've only got 2 on Kevin, and they need to get them out right now so they can create that wall of smoke so they can cross over and then try and hope that JS actually engage in a fight.
Coming up, final 5 teams here, only 12 members alive.
Rowan, no.
Smoke's coming out thick right now for TRD. Rowan's creeping up on him right now. If anybody could have the blind spot onto TRD, it's him.
One
Can he
single.
stay alive? Mehmet opening fire. Oh, he gets dropped down by XU. Look at that shot coming out of the TRD members. They are so accurate aiming down sights.
One grenade could finish it all for them, but they have slightly moved, and they've made it to the cover. They've done it. They're inside the circle, but the nades are coming in, but there can't be many nades remaining.
He's still snaking it up here, but is he going to be able to get there in time? The rest of TRD looking so good here. XU coming in.
Oh, no.
That's going to be Rip. He throws the nade down. It bounces close. They're going to have to move to right. And they managed to avoid most of the damage. This is great.
Nade knocks down one.
They got Mehmet.
Yeah, they knocked him down, and Rip is going to have to try and recover him.
XU
Rowan,
knocked as well,
he's
but
going to
Guns is
peek
going to
up.
be the one getting it right now.
He's got the nade.
This is for anybody.
Smoke.
Can Rowan do it?
Smoke.
Oh, it's just smoke. Oh, he's giving his away.
I don't know why he was doing that. He should have just chucked in the grenades.
He made it to the tree. Nobody's watching him on the TRD side. They have no idea he's here.
Oh,
He
no.
needs to just unload. He opens it up. He's got 1. He's got 2. He eliminates TRD. Rowan. One kill stolen away, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. I can't believe they just did that.
That is insane. He only has 1 of them. No, he didn't actually get any of the kills stolen. He gets all 3 of them.
No, you're right.
Fantastic players. He goes down to one of these other members, and now Script, last member left alive on his team, trying to survive for MBZ, whilst these 2 teams are trying to work out what to do here. Down to 3 players on JS. It's not looking so good because they had a Boo who tried to charge in. He died, and now MEA are like, what the hell do we do?
Rowan ends up giving his life at the end of the day. He falls down into the 4th place position. IK does, rather, but he still managed to take out TRD here. So it's all down to MEA, JS, and the last surviving member. No, never mind. He just gets taken out on MBZ side. So it comes down to this final fight, and someone's going to have to breach somewhere. Someone's going to have to drop down.
MEA have a decent advantage here, actually.
Can MEA get a 3rd chicken dinner today?
Mehmet, he drops down.
Yeah, Mehmet's creeping around.
He could actually have a really good opportunity here because Guns is potentially... Oh, he could take Palestine if he's smart enough. But I think they've heard him, so there's going to be an interesting opportunity for JS. But at the same time, it could be to their detriment. It
Drop
depends.
down from Rip.
I think that would
Have
be
to
heard.
know. They're going to light him up. Palestine with the down, looking for the finisher. They take him out. It's 2 on 4. MEA can smell the 3rd chicken dinner cooking.
This could be the 3rd. This could be.
This is
their
a record
breaking
setter right now for
record.
MEA. Talk about making an entrance into the semifinals. Attest, he's just trying to throw nades, but he doesn't have a good position.
No, I think this is going to be a GG, but we'll have to see in a moment. JS.
Smokes down. Mehmet might be the last hope here for JS, as he's the one not being sighted right now. If they wait outside the window, this could be danger for them. Attest might just have to jump out of it. Here's the nade!
No, it's a smoke, unfortunately. He is
Darn it.
giving away his position, I think. Oh, Palestine, he's made it up above.
He's going to be up to the top, and Attest is going to have to deal with him right now. He does get the knockdown, but the rest of the MEA members are still standing strong. Mehmet's going to be going to the first floor into the smoke.
Mehmet's going to be able to run out.
He's got the down. This is going to be it right now. The fight is on. A test, the last man standing for JS here. As it's absolute chaos inside the smoke. Who's going to take the chicken dinner on this final fight? 5 members alive here, and it's going to be it. JS, they just survived to the end.
We wanted a storyline from them, and we're going to be giving it. A test runs away with 5 kills himself, 2 kills from Mehmet, and what a storyline coming out from NBA. Almost making it to the 3 chicken dinner mark in a single set of games.
The denial from Just Survive, man. They had so many close calls. We saw it already went back to that one fight with the Nox 1v2 situation. They were the 3rd team out in that one, or 4th, I should say. But Just Survive finally show up, nab a chicken dinner, and 7 kills to boot.
What a fantastic play from all these teams so far in the group stage. And you just have to give mad props to TRD so far. Just consistent play after consistent play, picking up 6 kills and a 5th position.
Well, they didn't have to be honest. They could have just messed around because they were locked into the 1st place spot just about.
Yeah, and I just want to say, 11 games, all top 5, including multiple chicken dinners.
Only one game.
One game.
They took the crate fight.
13th spot.
Well, here are the highlights from our... Oh, we're not getting the highlights. It's coming back to us. I thought we were getting the highlights, but I got debated.
We are the highlights.
Well... Yeah, I'll go with that. I like that. This guy's so positive. It's good
Perfect.
stuff.
Well, you know what, Devin? What do you think of that last situation? What happened there?
That last fight was incredible because it was a 1st floor, 2nd floor battle. JS, honestly, the hero play at the end there. We will see the highlights coming through. I can't believe they pulled that one off. MEA really wanted it, but here was the start of it with Nox, Galiko getting the down. We thought, remember, this crazy Pachinki battle, I estimated that Nox were going to get the fight. I believe you called AM, and at the end of the day, they were the quieter team. They managed to make it happen. But this is where Thanos gets a 2K, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, none of them were the true winners. IK were, because they managed to walk away the longest and staying alive. So I have to give props to them out of all this. But we did see a lot of interesting plays.
SB getting deleted, though. They did have a nice fight, but unfortunately, they popped out a little bit too fast after this and won't end up being one of our bubble teams. They did manage to finish off most of the SMP members, so SMP had the last lap at the end of the day. But this is where AM come and clean them up. Rowan? Oh, yeah, I forgot that fight happened because they just kind of bailed out at the end and left IK for dead, but they still managed to survive that last player. Here's TRD through the smoke, finding the AM members, and they had no idea he was there. Hixu gets dropped down. Finally, they turn it around. They pick him up. Codex even finding a great shot onto H mode and ending RBK a little bit early there. And I think this is where he'll end up getting finished off. Yeah, as he was trying to outrun the blue, unfortunately, a test caught him.
Yeah, the dancing meme was over, and then RBK taking out 963 here before they then have to try and push in, and unfortunately they face up against TRD, which we will see soon enough. But first of all, Butcher has to be taken out by TRD. TRD switch their sights, take out RBK, switch on over towards the caravan, which they get grenaded to hell, and then unfortunately for them, they have Rowan.
They did not see
who is
Rowan
right behind him.
This was brilliant. He just unloads, cleans them all up. Now he ends up dying as a thank you very much, a test picking him off, the sniper on the roof. But here was the great play. Gun starting it off. Rip just went RIP, and it looked like it was all MEA, but Attest had a great play to knock down Falastine here, and it gave Mehmet the chance to be the hero.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have been able to drop down, and then...
I'm sorry, it was Attest, actually. Yeah, Mehmet had already dropped down to make that play, but then Attest comes in, and it really just comes down to a 1v1 situation. Easy peasy.
Yeah, that was a big mistake coming out from the last member there, but Attest doing a fantastic job from JS, clutching it out, getting the win, and then Rowan picking up 3 kills.
Those were all TRD members, so it really counted. Really good job by him. All the MEA players came up pretty big as well, but a 2nd place finish, not too bad. Not a 3rd chicken dinner, but just as good in their case.
What a fantastic ending to the group stage here. We already know all the teams, and unfortunately, we are going to have to say goodbye to a couple, which we'll get to in a moment. But look at these kills across the board. TRD Kevin still managed to pick up 3 himself.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, and, you know, MEA still up there as well, getting quite a few kills. And
it's just Survive versus MEA Assassins. So
I
these were the final 2. Yeah, for sure. And it just looks like 1 and 2 in the standings, 7 to 9 in kills. The firefight was crazy. You could see the damage coming hot and heavy, and it was really only 6 points that ended up separating these two at the end of the day.
I mean, I'm interested to see the Kotoa stands in the end and where MEA have actually managed to land themselves, because that's 31 points. That's a lot of points when it comes down to it. Even if they didn't manage to get that total win, they managed to get
they'll be safe.
2 points. Yeah, I mean,
we already knew they'd qualified, but they made a big statement today, coming back after losing their points due to rulings. They ended up coming up huge. Mehmet versus Guns is our first head-to-head, and that is actually fairly even. However, Guns does kind of have the edge there in just about every one of those.
And distance as well, almost about 2K.
Well, he covered
just
a
under
lot.
2K.
And they both ended in the same house.
Yeah. Well, it just shows people from around the world can end up in the same place. And Guns was actually started out over towards... I can't remember the name.
Yeah, they were pretty far to the north, if I recall.
Yeah, it was right next to
MEA.
Stalba.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit unfortunate for them. They ended up having to travel across the side of the map. But Razem here doing a fantastic job, getting 600 damage, not all the kills. I think that was actually onto JS a lot
Rip
of the
was
time.
one of the first ones to die on the JS side. Remember, there were 4 members healthy till that final fight, and he was the one who got picked off on the rooftop of the adjacent house. So, unfortunately, this is the worst performing member on the JS side, but they all really did step up in the clutch. As I say it, actually, SWAT, I forgot, he got dropped a lot earlier on, so there were 3 members before they made it to that house.
There was actually 4, but SWAT actually dropped down, and he tried pushing them a little bit too
Oh,
early,
that was it. Yeah, it was because they
dying.
ended up just running circles, and that's where you get the rest of the distance coming in. Falastine, though, of course, he was running circles around everybody. It didn't quite get as many of the kills. It was a Tess on the JS side that came up clutch at the end of the day, but Abbas was not too far behind him in terms of numbers.
It's not too bad. The distance as well, about the same on like sort of distances we've sort of seen between all the other members as well. Although it does seem like Ates has actually done a little bit further than his other teammates, a little bit more running around, a little bit more
who's the hero at the
active
end,
on
like you
his
said,
feet.
right?
Yeah, indeed, but nonetheless, fantastic play coming out from these members. MEA with a massive surprise result considering their previous history. They were always quite a passive team. They had a few highlights, but they were never anything like
they leveled up hardcore today. They really came in with a plan. They executed on it. They were hunting teams left and right. They made MBZ look like a passive team, and that's saying something. That was incredible play from them and well-earned spot into the semifinals. Cannot wait to see them next week for sure.
It's definitely going to be interesting on that one. Hopefully we can have a look at the standings. Maybe not, but either way.
Well, you know, we can check those standings. You just got to go to clubopen.pubgmobile.com, man. Finding all the information up to the minute. That should be updated not too long after these final results start flowing in to make sure you can see who made it into the top 24 and who will be seeing play later on next week for the semifinals, down to 24 teams from 32.
Yeah, and I'm fairly certain we can safely say that there's one team that's going to be out. But if you want to go and see the highlights from today and all the rest of the days, make sure to go check out our YouTube, which can be found at
youtube.com/PUBGMobile Esports. Don't forget to smash that subscription button. And I'm glad you mentioned it, by the way, Tom, because what else should they do?
Ding dong, that notification bell.
Absolutely. Good stuff. It has been an absolute pleasure bringing the show to you guys, but that is going to do it for the group stages. We'll put a lid on it here. We will be right back next time, 1 week from today, 8 p.m. Central European Summertime, for the semifinals of the PMCO MEA region. Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of myself, Tom Pickering, a.k.a. We Free Men, and our broadcast crew, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Zombie, Darkest Night, the newest mode in the zombie universe, is here. This time, the rules are different. No more parachuting, as players will be placed at random locations on the map when the match begins, and there is no single winner. Players must work with their teammates to spend one long night in the match and stay alive until the sun comes up. Waves and waves of zombies will spawn during each of the 3 foggy periods at night, and supplies should only be scavenged when the fog fades. The main objective is not to defeat other players, though this doesn't mean they are harmless. Players may need to work with other teams when necessary, but should also watch their backs in case the Fragile Alliance goes south. This will be a unique experience for every player involved. This new mode also comes with a passive skill for every player. Understanding these skills will be the key to staying alive in this long night. Can you ride out the night?
Play PUBG Mobile for free.